Hello, I am the Ronan Pawn, and welcome to a twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn. Arm air! Oh, it's warm. It's warm out, people. Oh, it's so nice. It's just so nice for it to not be friggin' frigid and freezing and hellacious and cold and gray. It's a little bit gray. I don't care. It's warm out. Let's have a beer. Celebrate the fact that it's warm out. I wasn't late on Kia 1. Technically, yes. But no, I have to start the live stream about 45 seconds early if it's gonna actually spool up and get to you guys on time. I started on the hour. It just didn't get there until... ATS again, says a guy called Pie. Yes! I see how enthusiastic your question mark is right there. Indeed. Let's face it, it's Pawn. 1 minute in advance means he's gonna be 1 minute less late to fix all his not working things, says Anki. Well, that does occasionally happen. Thank you, Kevin McLeod, for the intro. We are playing American Truck Simulator today for another in our new-ish series, Wednesday Zendnesdays, where we sit in here, well, we sit in here, over there. We sit in here, and we talk about Star Trek and politics, and occasionally we get onto something that's spiritually relevant and Zenish. Broadcasting to a new community on Twitch today. There's actually apparently a spiritual gamers community. I am now the third person using the spiritual gamers community. What the hell? What the hell, he says. Why not? Not cold? Yeah, we seem to have imported all your colds as Hologram 1. Yeah. How you like it? How you like me now? January in Detroit. In Michigan with an average temperature of -8 Celsius. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous what it is. My January, utility bill, electric and heat, was $250 goddamn dollars. And then February's bill was like down to 180 or something like that, so it's better. And then this month, it's gonna be so much nicer. It's hard to get through those winter months when you live somewhere where you're not... Like, we know it's coming, but we're not particularly prepared for it if it's going to cost me $250 for the month of January just to heat my home. I know how you feel, Pawn. It's -8 here, too, now, says a guy called Pie. Neener, neener, neener. It got warm here. Shouldn't do that. It's going, what? Like the cold front is looking back at, oh, is that what you're thinking, eh, Detroit boy? Here we come! I don't mind, I'm immune to the cold. Everyone else here complains, though. Well, you have to leave the house, Hologram 1, in order to know that it's cold outside, so of course you're immune. Kidding. I'm kidding, and yet, I'm not far off. Hey, I don't leave the house that often. I just rushed out a half an hour before the live stream to make a beer run here, and, Jesus, I got stuck behind Ohio in traffic. Somebody with Ohio plates on 6 Mile in Detroit. Davison, one road south. It's more or less. Might as well be 6 Mile in Detroit. You're in Ohio plates. Doesn't get it. Just doesn't get it, okay? At Davison and, Conant. At Davison and Conant, okay? City of Detroit doesn't have money to, like, upgrade its intersections with proper lighting. So you just have to know that during rush hour... there's never going to be a break in traffic for you to turn left on green. You have to wait until it turns red, and then it turns green in the direction that's going opposed from you, and then you have to just fucking go. And 3 or 4 of you have to go at once. Stuck behind Ohio. One dude ahead of him got through, and then he stopped. And then he didn't... You just gotta go. It's Detroit. Red lights are optional, first off. And certain intersections, very optional. We need a center light at particularly the intersections very near my home that would tell you, you know, green left arrows so that there'd be a chance for you to go. There isn't, so you just gotta fucking go. Hit the gas, Ohio. Cheer 5, it seems so weird to me as a Euro guy that someone from one state over, usually several hundred miles away, will speak the same language and have the same culture as you do. Well, he doesn't know how to drive the way we do around here, guy called 5. Welcome to American Truck Simulator. I think we're actually in the middle of a job. I don't have to go and get a job because I think I left off last time. I was just broke, flat, what is it? Flat, broke, and busted. I was flat, broke, and busted. I was just tired. So we just called it. Plus, I'd said everything that I had to say about, you know, the universe, life, and everything. So yeah, where am I? Somewhere. Do I have a haul? Yeah, I'm taking cables to someplace. Just follow the GPS, and if you come to a red light, just fucking go, man. You turn the left signal on, and then you go. Okay, wow, I clipped the light post a little bit, but it's still standing, so I'm proud. Hello, officer. We're not doing anything illegal. There aren't drugs stuffed in my spool of cabling. Stop. Don't give me a ticket for rolling this light. It's red, right? Just go! So straight across, and then cross some more and back out onto the highway for us. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. My most favorite Zen trucker. Body, says Snowman Olaf. How you doing? How you doing? Do you know how to drive? Do you go left against the red when you're in Detroit? It's just, there needs to be like a public service announcement. I got half of, wow, they got Hummers in the game now? When did they get Hummers in the game? Okay, look out. There needs to be a public service announcement made to the suburbs around here, and also, you know, other states that are nearby. Don't run into me. I'm a big truck. I have to just go. I had half a mind to get out of my car, or well, to come back in the middle of the night with a can of spray paint and a ladder and climb up to the middle thing that's hanging there that doesn't really give you any information or tell you what you need to do, and just write on there, please turn left on red. You have to. It's how it works around here. Damn it. Cheer 5, it's probably just me, but I love the diversity of AI vehicles in this game. There's just a ton of different car models. Aren't there? I don't know what they've been doing with Euro Truck, because I got into American Truck Simulator, and this is just so much better. We got the nice blue skies and white clouds overhead, and every time I played Euro Truck, it's fucking raining. People were trying to feed me, you know, boiled cabbage and shit. I can't deal with it. American Truck Simulator, baby. I need deep-fried pork rinds. And blue skies and neon signs everywhere telling me what I should do with my life. Cheer 100, I've missed you, Paul. And like, literally, I missed like 8 of your last 10 streams as Red Phoenix. Well, we do so many of them that that just means you've been missing for 2 weeks, Red Phoenix. Nice to have you back, and thank you for the cheers. Quit throwing boiled cabbage and what else do you guys eat over there that's curious? You could send me a tuna fish pizza, I'll tell you that. I love me some tuna, I love me some pizza. Months ago I was saying I gotta try some tuna fish pizza now that I know that that's a thing that humans eat other places on the planet, because it sounds delicious. But I haven't, because I never make good on any of my promises. Even the ones to myself, though, so that's how I balance out the karma of it, okay? I may promise you things and never come through on them. Yeah, I'm gonna play Tilt Brush. Sure, let's load up Stage 9. I may promise you that, and then fall through on it. Just know, I also fall through on the promises I make myself. I will never get to eat tuna fish pizza, because I'm just too lethargic. Too damn lethargic. Skinny penis, says Mr. Heggitek. And that. No, what? What have you heard? Who you been talking to? Mr. Heggitek. What's up? It's your boy. How you doing? What? Everybody's coming out for the Zendnesday live stream. I'm doing 76 miles per... I didn't know this truck could do 76 miles. Well, put it in cruise control and see if you can't keep her up. Boy. Take your skinny penis down the road. Tell people that. I actually started off today, woke up and immediately got into Discord and relayed portion of a dream that I had last night. This morning, really, because it was right there. Okay, please slow down. Alright, I'm going to have to use my own brakes and then cruise control again. There we go. Don't want to get a ticket. It was one of those dreams that I swear I watched basically a 20-minute movie in my sleep. It was so... yeah, I know it's 65. I'm slowing down. You gotta just go. It was so well put together and vivid, and the connective tissue, and it just made perfect sense to me while I was dreaming it. Then I woke up, and I felt the need to, like, write it down, because it was such a good idea for a movie. And as I wrote it, boy, it was definitely a dream. The connective tissue was a little less there than I thought. I started writing it down. This dream started out, I'm in, like, one of these, like, an old half, you know, like an, I don't know, an air bunker or something. You know, the buildings that are, like, made of aluminum and they're a half cylinder above the ground, that kind of thing. But it's high technology. It's definitely future technology in there. And there's, like, it's, you know, people at computers and lots of technology, but there's also, like, doctors there, and there's a woman in who's there, and she's, like, kind of quietly saying that she's got an STD to one of the doctors. You know, I've got to have your cure for some STD, and I don't remember what it was, but it's one of the ones that's, like, incurable presently. I gotta have the cure to the STD, which also tells you that it's in the future, right? And he did the cure to the STD, and then he, like, takes her back in the, you know, clinic room where they talk privately, and she's got her little sister with her, and she's got her little, and they get into the room, and it immediately becomes apparent that she doesn't really need the cure to the STD. She's there because there's some kind of sexual pleasure in the performance of the operation, and the doctor's like, I know what you mean. It's almost like it turns into an Asian an underground massage parlor, underground Asian massage parlor, where, you know, would you like the happy ending today? But for a woman, and there's some sexual pleasure to be had in the needle in the things, and then her sister's, like, you know, with her younger sister, by the way, she's in her, like, late 20s, and her younger sister's, like, the end of her teens or something like that, and she's like, okay, you need to leave now, because I'm gonna get the happy ending, is the subtext. And she's like, no, hell no, I came here, what, you're gonna get your jollies, and I'm gonna be in the other room? I came here to see my sister get off in front. It was really weird, okay? When I started writing it down, it got weirder. It made sense in the dream, I tell you. Guy called Pie Cheering 5. It took him a while, but I'm finally getting some good feedback on my series episode pilot experiment, and I should say I love that they're being really honest. Really? You love the YouTube comments? You're the first. They're telling me what to improve, how, and why. Oh, that's nice. Turns out it's really boring. No character development whatsoever, awkwardly narrated. Love the aesthetic, very disjointed, repetitive. Intro was awesome, but that's it. Well, it's good that you're getting, you know, constructive feedback and not just destructive feedback, and that you're open to it. Again, I still haven't tuned. I opened it up. You got a view click from me. I opened it up, and then I never got back to it. I'm sorry. Dreams are effing weird, man, says a guy called Pie. Indeed. Aluminum, says Pawn. I am triggered. Even iOS has the autocorrect set correctly. Aluminium? Don't you? I thought you spelled it the same. You just said it differently. Pawn, how many STDs do you got? How many do you want? How much money have you got? Pretty sure Jeff Goldblum was in a dream of mine the other day. It was weird, says a guy called Pie. So that's just the beginning. High technology. And the thing is, the camera, because it was really like a movie, you know, it was camera panning. I took on the you know, in dreams you identify with certain characters at different points, and you go first person, but it was very cinematic, and the camera work was just amazing in my dream. But it's also like floating across these screens, and from these screens, because I'm the dreamer, I implicitly know that the world that we're living in has a little bit something to do with oh, what are they called? Not wanderers, but travelers. Have you seen the show? It's on Netflix now, Travelers, where the people have come back in time, and the only way that they can travel back in time is to transmit their consciousness into the body of someone else who's alive now, and it necessarily, like, kills the person who's alive now. So the idea is that they've got this computer that's doing the work for them, and it's done the research, and they keep jumping into the bodies of people who were about to die, but who can be saved. So the travelers come back, and people who, on the recorded record, died, and then their consciousness gets implanted into them about 10 seconds before they were going to die, and then, you know, they don't turn left into traffic or whatever they were going to do. And, you know, that's how they get people back here. And they've come back to try and save the world, you know, in the wake of September 11th attacks and stuff like that. Al-u-min-e-um, says Hologram One. It's spelled and pronounced all-you-mine-e-um. I don't get it. Like the show Quantum Leap. Yeah, a little bit like the show Quantum Leap. Yeah, his consciousness, but in Quantum Leap, his consciousness simply displaced the consciousness of the person who he was, you know, who he was jumping into, and in fact their consciousness was like, they were switched out for him, and I believe they were delivered to his time frame. This isn't that. They die. They die. If you take somebody's consciousness over in this world, then they're dead. And they did a really interesting episode. It's deep in, and it's kind of it's not spoilers, it's just them having real good fun with this premise, and really good idea about, like, this computer that's making the decisions for them, that's trying to make sure that they can fix the future because it goes so much to shit that they have to send people back in time. There's some major event that's going down, or something very important. I think it's actually like humanity discovering the means of creating the supercomputer, so it's the supercomputer defending its own existence in the future. And there's, you know, rebel forces who have managed to go back in time that they're fighting against and stuff like that. So in order to make sure that this event goes off, that the people who are going to make sure the computer gets built get their hands on the technology as it's being developed, or rather the materials. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm trying to avoid spoilers. The rebels show up, the people who are against them show up, and they try and steal it, and the computer has to just keep throwing human beings back in time, back in time, back in time, in scenario after scenario, where the good guys keep losing and the person that the computer sent back keeps dying on the mission. And the deal with their time travel technology, it's beautiful, and this played into the dream. I'll get back to the dream eventually. The beauty about, like, their concept for how time travel works in this science fiction universe is that they can only send people back to the last place that they sent people back to, or forward. So if they send somebody back to, for example, the September 11th attacks, then that is now as far as they can possibly send someone back, is a moment after that. So this scenario comes up where, in order to try and make sure that the timeline doesn't get, you know, screwed over in such a way that the computer doesn't end up existing, the computer keeps sending people back, like, a moment later and a moment later and a moment later, into the same person's head who was going to die. So first they kill the first person who was going to die anyway. They kill the first person. And they send back the first, like, traveler to try and write this scenario. And the traveler goes through all of the motions and tries to, you know, save things and make it work, and it doesn't work out, and that traveler ends up dying. And so the computer sends the next traveler back and overwrites the first traveler. And that's what's just amazing about the complexity and the depth of this concept they've got for time travel. And how morally gray it becomes, because you sent somebody back and you put them into the head of the person who you just replaced with them. Now, they went off, and for 20 minutes they tried to make things work, and then they died, so they didn't work. So now you send somebody back, and you overwrite the consciousness of the person who you sent back, and kill them before they have the chance to do the 20 minutes worth of stuff that it turned out didn't work. It's a beautiful friggin' episode, and it really, like, opens Pandora's box on all of the ideas that are ripe for the picking in this sci-fi concept. They had a show on Netflix, says Show Booty. It is! And it's Shoe Booty, but Shabooty. It is on Netflix now. I don't know that it's a Netflix original, that it's an exclusive, but it's something they've picked up. Travelers. Travelers is the name of the series. Are you talking about Time Travelers, says Angelos2141? I am, and the show Travelers. Yes. So that's the premise of their thing, and that episode really stuck with me, and it worked its way into my dream, because in this this future that I'd imagined, they, like, what was going on that wasn't necessarily said on camera, but because I'm the dreamer, I know it, is, you know, they've got kind of that quantum supercomputer that's also kind of handling things for them, and their newfangled new technology that they're curing this woman's STD with that is also giving her pleasure, and she doesn't really have the STD, she just wants to get off. is part of this new, you know, technology that uses like quantum breaking dimensions apart and stuff like that. Cheer 5, I like how in the show corporal punishment is doled out through time travel too, says Angelos2141. Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, if the great computer decides... Ah, crap, I gotta stop for inspection. If the great computer decides that you are, you know, that you've done something worthy of a death sentence, then they just overwrite your consciousness with someone else from the future who can be helpful in your place. There's so much cool about that series. Could it be that you were just horny pawn, hence the pleasure thing? No, I wasn't. I swear, I wasn't. It's just, there was some sexual themes to the movie that I was writing. Are we all going in together? Why do you get to not stop and the rest of us have to, prick? Alright. I'm kind of happy because I don't have to wait in line as long. This is cool. I've never been on a line of trucks going to the way station. But yeah, so that was part of the dream, was that they were using, you know, similar technology and something that kind of tears at the fabrics of reality. Shibuti is now following. Thank you, Shibuti. Da-da, Shibuti. Banana. A guy called Pi, could it be that you... Oh, no. I wasn't horny. So... Well, you know, this woman's going back for her procedure, wink wink. I can see that the computer, the supercomputer, has detected... There we go, gross weight of 75,000 pounds. The computer has detected a, like, anomaly, an event, oh crap, our technology backfired on us kind of a thing, and they're messing with, like, time travel and dimensions and stuff, so it's a pretty big deal. But at the same time, it's also apparent to me that the computer didn't really notify any of the science people that this had happened. It's on the screens, but it's not like making a big deal about it. It's not a red alert event, whoop, 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 you know? Everybody panic. This is a dream I'm describing that I had. So after a few minutes, and it was all, like, this was set up in the beginning. That's why it was so movie-like. It was set up in the beginning, panned across these screens, and then it went over to the conversation where the woman was... and she's going back to get rid of the STD thing, and then it came back to that, and now it's a red alert event because someone actually noticed on the computer screens that something has gone wrong at some other facility nearby with the quantum god knows what's it doodle. And so now it's a red alert event, and the signal goes off, and now I'm like following another character who's just been introduced, a male character who's like sitting waiting for whatever it was he was waiting for, and he walks over because, you know, it's a future where people know that this technology is here and they know that it's dangerous, and he walks over to one of the science guys after the red alert goes off and says, "So it's happening?" He says, "Yeah." "Is it a world-ending event?" He says, "Not exactly." And then the guy in the lab coat starts running, and the dude who we're following looks over at, like, the windows at the front of the building and sees this, you know, very, like... The thing that made it even more movie-like was it was very, like, modern movie visual effects. It wasn't realistic. It was realistic the way that movies make things realistic, but there's this, like, you know, kind of shockwave-looking thing that's that you can see coming across the horizon and coming at the building, and everybody sees it and starts running, and they all start heading to the edge of the building, and then this guy that we're following now is just standing there. Okay, watch out. Do I need to slow down? I don't need to slow down. Screw you. He sees that this thing's coming, and he's just kind of standing there in awe of it, like, oh crap, and then, this big, and it was even, like, tetrahedron, it was kind of maybe hexagons, where, you know, the cloud is what was the plume, had, like, hexagons to it, whatever. It gets closer and closer and closer, and then it hits the building, and then, just like the section at the front door, just kind of, like, breaks and falls off, and the rest of the building's fine. And he's like, and the guy standing there is like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. Was that it? And then, like, he looks out on the horizon, and there's the actual shock wave that's coming through that's just, like, tearing up, you know, nuclear, why are we not going fast? I swear I hit the cruise control. Nuclear blast, wah, just tearing up the countryside, coming for the building, and then, oh crap, and he turns and he runs, and he can't get out of the building or get behind the building now, so he just hides behind this file cabinet that's on the side of the building, and then boom, it hits the side just as he's like tucking himself in between the wall and the filing cabinet, and this old woman carrying a baby ducks in, like, with him, having the same idea or having followed him. Apparently she was in awe as well. Okay, who cheered before I get too far into this ridiculous dream I'm describing? Have you ever been sexually relieved by a medical expert, Pawns? The guy called. Are you asking if I've been to an Asian massage parlor? No. Do nurses moonlighting as a dominatrix count? Asks Angelos2141. Oh god, I've gotten it started. How do you guys take a simple dream about a woman who's going in to get sexual pleasure performed in the guise of having an STD removed into something dirty? God, your minds. Okay, pay attention to the road, it's a turn. So yeah, he runs back to the filing cabinet, wedges into the corner between the filing cabinet and the wall with the blast wave on the other side of things, and immediately there's this old woman holding a baby, which is almost like there's something like really metaphoric about that. I mean, it's something you would write into a movie. Another thing that made this really feel like a movie, because it's like this old woman with a baby, and then there's this choice that this guy has to make. Do I, you know, do the gallant thing and trade places with this old woman who's standing there? But it's like, the old woman represents both, you know, a human being at the end of their life, and this guy's not at the end of his life, but she's carrying a baby, so a child at the beginning of its life. So what do? And it's just like this moment of humor in my dream that he, like, looks at her and looks down at the baby and looks at her, and then he just, like, reaches out and takes the baby and leaves her where she's, like, less protected from the blast wave. And then I believe he actually, like, thinks twice about it and, like, starts to hand her back the baby, like, okay, maybe I should switch with you. And then the blast wave intensifies, and then, no, he takes the baby back and leaves her where she could get hit and killed by it. The blast wave hits and passes, and neither she nor Kim are injured by it. Apparently a filing cabinet was all that it took to prevent the nuclear apocalypse from striking them. Building is destroyed. He's still tucked into the corner, and in that, like, movie framing, we can only see, you know, what he would see, and he's not seeing much. Cheer 5, your brain thinks you can survive a nuclear shockwave by hiding between a filing cabinet and a wall? I'm from America. They taught us just get under your desk. Just get under your desk and put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Yes, of course I believe that. All American school children are taught that. Apparently now they're all taught how to, you know, break down an AR-15 rifle and defend themselves against school shootings or something. I don't know what they're teaching the kids these days, but yeah, so he and she and the baby all survived the you know, nuclear blast shockwave kind of. That's 40 coming into town. Should I? I'm not even going to merge. I'm not going to merge yet. We'll see. We'll see how fast this... Oh, now it's 35. Yeah, I'm merging. Yeah, I'm merging. You're slowing down way too much. They survive, and he's like, you know, he's kind of doing that I survived kind of thing. Okay, and I didn't merge quick enough. I survived. And meanwhile, she's just staring at him, like, still with the shocked horror expression that she's been staring at him the whole time as the nuclear cloud has been passing behind her. Then he's like, you know, he finally gets done, like, celebrating internally and turns outward, and it's like, we're okay! We're okay! We survived it! To the old lady. And then she just, like, lifts her finger. So fucking movie script. This stream, she just lifts her finger and points to something down next to him, and he looks down, and immediately there's this, like, giant turtle-ish kind of dinosaur that's about knee-high tall that just, like, pushes under him and nearly knocks him down, having, like, walked through the remnants of the building because it was all destroyed. There's this dinosaur-looking small thing that pops up behind him, and all of a sudden, whoa, what the hell? And then he looks around and sees that there's fucking dinosaurs outside of the building. And it looks like an alien planet. You know, like the sky is not quite a blue color anymore. It's still, like, familiar enough, but there's, like, a pinkish blue hue to it, I guess, is what I'd describe. It just looks like an entirely different planet, but it's kind of speckled with this normal scenes, with the things that he expects to see as well from the world that he just that he lived in just a moment ago. Cheer 5. About to risk losing a whole box of snacks to my new oven. The crispy had better get ready for the rumble because it's gonna get real. What are you talking about? You and your snacks pie. I agree. Hologram 1. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake, pie. Interrupting my beautiful story. Dinosaur thing nearly knocks him over. He sees and there's like immediately some kind of threat on him, and he starts running, and we're outside the building now, and we're in these kind of half jungle, half not jungle, suburban. It's like a suburbia with a jungle plant life surrounding it, and he's running through it, and there's giant dinosaurs and stuff, and he's running into other people who are, you know, just suddenly trying to deal with this. There's like a Jeep on the side of a thing. There's like, I'm thinking it was a scene from Jurassic Park that got stuck in my head. There's like a Jeep stuck on a staircase in suburbia and there's dinosaurs coming, and they're trying to jump in the Jeep, and then they're getting too close, and they can't get the Jeep started, and they run. There's like this whole chase sequence with dinosaurs all of a sudden. Very cinematic. Cheer 5 Pawn, you know I'm laundering money through buying Cheers rights, says a guy called Pie. As long as it's clean when your nickels land in my pockets, I'm happy. I'll deal. I don't care where it comes from. Give me money. Yes, now there's dinosaurs in this world, but there's still, like, vestiges of suburbia, and it's like, what the hell just happened? And I remember that there's this scene where, like, I think it actually changed characters at some point. I think the guy I was following inside, like, went off in a certain direction, but he ran into someone else who was running from a dinosaur, and I kind of switched from that first person to the other first person, and now I'm this guy, and he manages to get away from them, and then he finds himself just, like, standing on, like, I want to say, like, someone's, you know, semi-futuristic living room from, like, 50, 60 years in the future from now, that's been kind of, like, cut in half, and where there would be a wall and the rest of the room is just the open plain, where you're seeing in very distinct, like, almost grid-like fashion, how these... It's the reveal moment in the movie, where it's made absolutely clear to anyone who didn't get it until now that what's happened was there was some kind of quantum event that basically merged two realities. And you've got portions of the world that was theirs, the future world that was theirs, that are overlapping and interspliced with the world of these dinosaurs. From a completely different, you know, dimension, basically. From another dimension where things went differently on Earth, or whatever, however you want to explain that. But so yeah, that's like the reveal moment of the movie. I swear it was like a 20-minute experience watching this thing go, you know, play out. And at some points it always felt like I was watching from a cinematic camera position, but at some points I was feeling the emotions of you know, one character that I was following, and then at some points it was another character, and it was like watching a movie. It was like being in the movie. It was watching a movie the way that you watched a movie back when you were a child. If you can remember, back when you were a young child and you'd go out to the movies and you'd look up at that screen, and within just a couple of seconds of the movie playing, there really wouldn't be a theater, right? You wouldn't be sitting in a theater anymore. There's not people around you. This isn't a movie theater. We're not watching a show. As far as your consciousness as a child was concerned, you were just completely enveloped by the movie. You were the main character. You were standing right there, you know. The scary things started to happen and you were scared. But you still felt safe because there was that layer of it's just a movie, but you were just completely... You remember watching TV shows and just being completely identifying with the character and forgetting that you were any place else than actually in the show with these characters? You remember what it was like being a child and you know, experiencing media that way? And my next question to you would be, why did you stop doing that? Jesus, God, why don't you just slam your brakes on, asshole? Why did you stop absorbing media that way? You know? As adults, we tend to have this barrier that's way thicker between us and the surreal. You know, we create these forms of entertainment to immerse ourselves in and to just get sucked into and try and lose ourselves within. But the older we get, it seems, the thicker that layer is between us and being able to just be at play. in the universe. See, he brought it back to Zen. Don't you have that feeling? Don't you remember? Do you have the same experience that I do, remembering, you know, being... Wait a second. Wait just a goram second here. Where am I? Can I get into this place? I can. I've just probably stopped traffic. I haven't. There's a repair place over here. Oh my god, there's a huge line of traffic too. Okay, screw it. We'll get repairs somewhere else. I was going to try and duck in and get some repairs done. But no, we're carrying on. Do you have the same experience that I do, remembering what it was like to be, you know, a child and you'd go out, and it didn't have to be movies and television and stuff like that. You'd go out to the sandbox, you'd get your toys out, and, you know, you'd get out your little toy soldiers or your Hot Wheels cars or whatever, and you'd start playing, and the world around you would cease to be the world around you. You would be in the universe that you had created in your imagination. And only when your mother called for dinner or somebody, you know, interrupted or intervened would you snap out of it. You'd be completely there, completely unembarrassed to be completely in your activity of, you know, imagination and enjoying that. What the hell happened to us? Tier 5 Pawn, why do you always do these Zen-type stream talks without it being all ASMR and stuff? Not really relaxing or reaffirming without the whole laid-back part of it. What, you want me to... Do you really... Have you had the experience that I have? It's not what I do, baby! Tier 5, the reason we don't experience media in that way anymore is the world we created with our thoughts, see, I brought it back to you, kicks you in the nuts and says you need to work to make money, you have to pay attention to a significant other, you have to have children, and you don't have time for fun or hobbies. Wait, who's kicking you in the nuts? The world we're created in is kicking us in the nuts? You realize no one can really kick you in the nuts but you, right? Like, someone who's been kicked in the nuts raises their hand and goes, I disagree! But in the way that you're describing, you know, the external world invading your psyche and telling you what's right and what's wrong. Yes, we are a condition of our external world, and absolutely, you're not wrong. You're not wrong that we've been conditioned to it. We've been taught that that's not right. You're an adult now. We don't, you know, we need to be more responsible than to simply, I don't know, enjoy entertainment and media and make-believe in exactly the way that it's designed to be enjoyed. No, no, no. We need to be separate. We need to be standing outside of it. We need to be looking at it from the perspective of, you know, did these actors do a good job? How do I feel about the directing here? The cinematography. It's very J.J. Abrams. I'm not sure how I feel about that. There is the world influencing you. But also, as an adult, and that's a period everyone has to go through, also as an adult, you get to, like, grow up and grow out of listening to the outside world and having been brainwashed by it. I'm just saying you're right. It has a lot to do with where we were born and how we were born and what time we were born into and what people raised us and the world around us and all that sort of a thing, that we don't enjoy things truly and freely and that we feel like we can't. We're not allowed to. I'm too grown. I can't just disappear into my activity. I've got to be here and ready. It very much has to do with that. But also take responsibility for your goddamn life and choose how you live it. Okay? And it's hard. It's hard getting back from brainwashing, and that's really what it is that we're talking about here. But you can, and people do, and you should. You should learn to enjoy your life the way you once did. Oh, there's a repair shop in here. Oh, there's a repair shop in here, in fact. What is... It's back there. Does this connect? Why would there be a parking lot here that didn't connect? Because I did just have to jump the curb to get into this parking lot. And it doesn't look like this parking lot connects. And there's... Damn it. Damn it. Alright. So there's a parking lot here that all you have to do is jump the curb to get into. Thanks, American Truck Simulator. Good game. It is. I quite enjoy it. Don't push out onto the... You gotta get back. I'm just gonna go straight across and hope nobody hits me. Seriously, Pawn? Yep, seriously. Oh, wow. I did not intend to do that way, but I'm not displeased with... Alright, I'm displeased with that. It worked out. I'm gonna go around back and come out forward, and then we're gonna get some repairs done, because I know my lorry needs some of the aluminium broken out of it. In it, mate? Tier 5, the people I brainwash done ever break free. Oh wait, disregard that statement, says Angelus. Yeah, well, you could be right. Because mostly, we are the engineers and architects of our own brainwashing. So, you do decide whether you break free or not. You are the warden of your own prison. Slam on the brakes and hit enter. I need some services. Don't upgrade me. I got lots of money. Repair frigging everything. It's only going to be $844? What am I repairing? The engine? Okay, that's the bulk of it. Wait. $25.52. Co-insurance? Oh, is that why it doesn't cost as much as it usually does? Because someone was saying in the last, no, you guys can barely, I'm going to take chat down. No, I'm not. It's over here. It's under chat. Someone was saying in the last live stream, don't you find it odd how cheap it is in American Truck Simulator for repairs? It appears to be that we have insurance. I didn't know that I was paying monthly insurance. Although that does make sense. In America, you have to have insurance in order to drive your car. I mean, maybe you have to everywhere, but I don't know. But yeah, apparently I only had to co-pay $844 to repair thousands of dollars worth of damage. That's not going to stop me from doing damage to my own truck. I'll tell you that. Okay, let's back out onto the highway and keep going. I wonder if that took any time to have the repairs done, because it's still night. And you know, we're on a okay, hi, how you doing? Like, since they aren't hearing my beeping beepers, I'm just gonna, I hope nobody's coming from that direction. They aren't. Doesn't look like anybody's coming from this direction either. Get us back out on the highway. Because I'm looking for adventure and whatever comes my way. This is the direction I'm supposed to be going, isn't it? Do not pull straight up to me. I'm a trucker, you're a trucker. You know how this works, right? Don't you? Anyway, that's something to be aware of in your adult life. Like, what have you lost from childhood that doesn't make any sense that you've lost, and can you get it back? Can you open yourself up enough to, you know, be open to having those experiences that children have, that we all remember having, where we just disappeared into what we were doing. We were unashamed, and I think that's what it is it really comes back to, like, shame and shame. You know, as adults, we're all kind of looking over our shoulders and darting our eyes across the room in order to see who's looking and who's judging me, and will I be judged well? Will I be judged poorly? And when we allow ourselves to, like, have those childlike moments of awe, and then we come back from it, you know, it's our immediate thing. It's like, look around and see, did anybody just see me? Actually enjoying myself, actually living my life in a way that was fulfilling and happy? Because we're not supposed to do that, I know. I was taught in school. They said, don't be happy. That's not what it's about. Homework, and then jobs, and then acquiring goods, property, wealth, and then death. And then you gotta make sure that you did your taxes right, or else your kids aren't gonna inherit your wealth, and then you just fucked your whole life up. You might as well have not even lived. That's what I learned in school. So anyway, yeah, my movie. So back to my movie. So yeah, that's, I experienced this whole thing as a movie, and then here's the scene that I described in Discord this morning, and I don't know if I can describe it without being lewd, because it's very lewd. I remember there's the guy who's standing, you know, in the half living room, looking out over the quantum state of the world now, having been torn asunder by modern technology. Please pull in for vehicle inspection. I just did, though! But I just did! Fine. I remember that, and then it's kind of one of those dream skip moments. Or, in terms of movie, hard cut. Hard cut to someone's perspective, or maybe just camera perspective, but we're in, like, a mall, and I feel like it's almost an underground mall, like a the kind of moles that I saw in, I mean, they weren't moles, but the kind of things that I saw in South Korea in their subway system. You walk into a South Korean subway system, and it's basically like a mini mall. There's, yeah, I'm still the same weight, surprisingly. Maybe less, a few pounds for gasoline. I'm sorry, petroleum and steamed cabbage. No, don't speed, you'll get a ticket. Kind of an underground mall kind of a thing. And, there's a giant cartoon sausage. A man-sized cartoon sausage, red, who is like, he's got like a old Asian man, kind of acting as the horse to his cart or the donkey, and he's kind of driving this guy and whipping him around. And then there's a smaller cartoon sausage that's a little bit more on the pink side. And definitely a female sausage. If you've seen two sausages, you know the difference. This is a female sausage, 3D animated kind of thing. The 3D sausage is kind of playing the police officer to the larger sausage, who's got this Asian guy who's kind of tormenting this old Asian man and using him as a beast of burden. So, like, well, this guy's, like, riding the Asian guy around. Not riding him, it's kind of more of a chariot kind of situation. But while he's driving the Asian man around, the smaller sausage is, like, chasing him around kind of police style and clipping at the heels of the little cart that he's on, the little chariot kind of thing, and, you know, bothering him and saying, you need to stop, you need to stop. It's very cartoony. It's very, very cartoony. And in my mind, this was the part of the quantum reality shift where, you know, it wasn't just two dimensions, but all possibilities had become possible when whatever device explosion went off, and so cartoons became real, and people's thoughts became real, and things like that. And so it becomes a lot scarier, actually, for me, in whatever perspective I'm choosing to live in the dream at this point. I feel the fear of knowing that I live in a universe now where people's thoughts can come to life, cartoons, and God knows what else. So yeah, the smaller sausage chased around the larger sausage, and then shit gets really real when the larger sausage sort of realizes that he's been made actually real, and a repressed sociopathy or psychopathy emerges from him based on the fact that these two characters have been trapped in the same sort of cartoon world together for 50 years, and he's always been the bad guy, and she's always been the good guy, and he's always lost at the end of the day, and she's always won. And he suddenly stops the chariot, and she comes over, harassing him, still in a sort of playful cartoon way, as though she doesn't realize anything's changed. And he reaches over and grabs her, and my perspective is like over the sausage's shoulder, if you can figure out what a sausage's shoulder is. Over the sausage's shoulder, as he reaches over, and I'm watching over his shoulder as he takes her by the head and twists her head. And the moment that he snaps her neck, the sausage's neck, she becomes an actual, like, human woman. And you can see that she's not dead, but he has broken her spine, and she's still, you can see that she's still alive and breathing. She draws a breath to communicate that. Again, it's very movie style, so, like, everything in this dream was, like, telling me what a moviegoer would need to know by the visual form of communication. So I want you to know that she's still alive right now. So she takes, like, a shallow breath kind of thing. Tier 5, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about the two cartoon sausages came to life in my quantum dimensional movie that I dreamed this morning. Ah! Don't hit the... Go! It's 55! That's what I'm talking about, isn't it clear? So the one sausage snaps the other's neck, the other turns into like a human woman when he snaps the neck, and he turns into a human man as well. Although it's a dream state, so it was kind of middle ground here, but he turns into a human man quickly enough at some point in here. But snaps her neck, and then like throws her limp body down onto a surface. And then I'm looking from over the side of her, and again, it's a movie, so apparently they were going for PG-13 here, although I think they went R, because I didn't see any, like, nudity. There was no pubic hair. But he yanks her jeans down, and I can see over his shoulder, like, the lower torso of a woman. And then he just... I'm looking over his shoulder again. You know, that's where I am. And you just see his arm doing that for, like, 3 seconds, and then this giant... Just a lot of ejaculate. Just a lot of it. All over her lower torso. Now you can ask, what the fuck are you talking about? And whether or not this story, like, abides Twitch's... We're in a mature thing. I'm just telling you what I dreamed, man. It's messed up. If I don't have the right to talk about my dreams, then it's more messed up. Don't take LSD before bed, suggests Angela's2141. Or if you enjoyed the dream, take LSD before bed. Just a lot of ejaculate. And then this sausage, who's now become a man, pulls his own pants back up, or I don't think he actually lowered his pants. No, he never did. He was still a sausage at that point. But somewhere in here, he changes into a man. And now the old Asian guy is there. And the sausage has realized that he's not in a cartoon anymore, so he's not using the Asian man as a, chariot. As a beast of burden to pull his chariot. And now the sausage is kind of just, like, depressed and looks, he's become a man at this point, but he looks harrowed, is how he looks. And he starts complaining about how small his penis is because he's a cartoon, and because he was a sausage, they couldn't show the little kids a penis, so they drew it so small it didn't exist. Or it's just a very small penis, so the kids won't see it. And then the old man is kind of, like, trying to, like, buddy up to him because he knows that this guy is, a psychopathic killer. And then with the spooging on the lady's stomach thing. So he knows to be afraid of him, and he knows that he can't get away from him, or he suspects he can't get away from him just by running. So he's, like, trying to buddy up with him, and he's like, it's gonna be okay, and the guy goes over to wash his hands at this little kitchenette that's in the mall for some reason. And the Asian guy comes over, and he starts, like, handing him the soap and trying to just be, like, a friend to him in this moment where he's, like, complaining about how his life has been horrible until now, and that's why he did what he did to this woman who's been tormenting him. And then, out of nowhere, the guy turns to the Asian dude and says, I don't have any of my own dishes. Because they're in the kitchenette. And then I wake up. Now, if you want to go ahead and psychoanalyze me, good fucking luck. From that dream. That was my dream, and it was brilliant and beautiful, and it all made perfect sense for the 20 minutes I was watching the movie. It all held together beautifully. And then when I woke up from it, coming out of that dream state, it was like, God, somebody needs to make that movie. That's a really good idea. I felt like that for like the first 15 minutes I was awake. I need to write this movie down. This is a really good idea. There is some good idea in there, but it's mostly borrowed from Travelers. But the idea of, like, future technology that tears dimensions apart, and then you've got excuse to, like, do whatever you want in your universe. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, would make a better book. Because it makes me think of David Wong. David Wong is the pseudonym of the author who wrote many books that I absolutely adore. He's my favorite modern author. He wrote John Dies at the End, and the sequel to that. This book is full of spiders. Seriously, dude, don't touch it. And then futuristic suits and violence, or something like that. Violence and futuristic, ultra violence and futuristic. I don't know. But yeah, those are my favorite modern author, and it's very much in his style of taking the universe and then, like, merging it with something, taking the real world and merging it with the fantastic so that you can basically do whatever you want in the story, and then have whatever kind of subtext, metaphor, spirituality, all kinds of stuff going on in there, but just to have fun with it. I think it's a good idea. Some kind of mega quantum disaster turns a certain town into half modern town and half Cretaceous period from another planet, from another dimension. Huh? Paul, you're describing thoughts everyone has, says a guy called Pie. You think about sausages ejaculating on women's torsos? You're fucked up, a guy called Pie. Dreams like that are pretty common, especially the doing whatever the hell you want part. Well, none of it was me, really, though. in that dream. You know, I have dreams where I'm me, or where I'm someone in the dream and I identify with them, but it was very much a movie dream, where I wasn't the person walking around. I occasionally took on, like, the first-person perspective of them, but I was very much a watcher, and it was very camera movements and cinematic, and totally, like, living in the screen of a movie. Something about an Asian man yanking his sausage, says Barry Sule. Oh, wait! Ah! Yes! I'm tired. And I just saw, well, I saw that there was an exit with stuff at it, and I guess there would be bedding, and there is. Alright, there's a place where I can sleep. You're apparently going straight through. Oh, no, you're turning left? Well, I'm going right. I mean, I was going right regardless of what you did, but I mean, I'm going right now. Right now! And then place to sleep. There's one on either side. I'm gonna go to the left, because I think the left is a... I know! I'm tired. I'm stopping. Yeah, the left is a proper park up and chillax sort of a place. If I just get over here, lock up the brakes, we can have a nap. Like, none of my sexual dreams involve men, even though I'm one, says a guy called Pie. What? Either that or a very attractive man, which I'm also not. What? Usually, the crap happens from their perspective, which makes me them, says a guy called Pie. Well, everyone in your dreams is you. I mean, you're the one making it up, aren't you? Unless you are, you know, legitimately visiting an alternate reality through the act of transcendental, ghosty, makey-doodle, out-of-body experience, which, you know, is a thing. I'm not saying it's not a thing. Tier 5. That's a good idea. Let's rearrange your dream. An Asian man yanking his sausage over a pink lady after surviving a quantum holocaust caused by dinosaur be stealing a baby from an old lady, says Angels 2141. You might be closer to, if there's something to analyze there, that sounds more easily analyzed. I'm running out of Jesus! I'm not taking care of any of my needs. I was just at the petrol station. Son of a biscuit, I could have stopped and gotten petrol. It was right there. I just wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about sausages ejaculating over women's torsos after they've snapped their neck. It wasn't horrifying to me either. It wasn't, because it was a movie. The fear that I felt in it was actually like the fear of the Asian man, that, you know, afraid of this guy. But both of those characters were like cartoon characters. The fact that she turned into a woman after her neck was snapped was, I don't know, neither here nor there for me emotionally, in the emotional context of the fucking weird-ass dream I've just spent an hour describing. Just spent an hour describing the quantum... I like your description, Angelus 2141. Is there any way we could take a chunk of that and make a quote of it? Could we quote Angelus 2141 at the beginning where it says, an Asian man yanking his sausage over a pink lady after surviving a quantum holocaust caused by dinosaur be stealing a baby from an old lady. Could we get a quote of that? Cut off the front of it. Just an Asian man. Take everything from an Asian man. I want that as a quote, because it'll help me remember this lovely, lovely dream I had. I mean, it was very pleasant experience. I woke up being like, God, that was such a good movie. Dreams are glimpses into other universes, which means this is the worst universe I exist in, because alternate me was always biologically born a girl and never had to deal with dysphoria. Really? Cool. That's actually cool. That when you dream, you have the gender you identify with. That's awesome. Tier 5, B is meant to be bi. No, I want it with the B, Angelus. I want it with the B. Moderators, you have to quote it manually. There's no moderators. Oh, crap. Somebody copy-paste it into Discord, just the part I wanted, and with the B. Because it sounds like you're, you know, stewed with sausage, I'll be stealing babies up in here, yo. Quote it and drop it into Discord somewhere where I could find it later. Or drop it into Discord and you know, tweet the moderator group and say, we need somebody to make this a quote. Pawn requested it. Yes, do that. Is there gas station? No. There's no gas at this one? Oh, it's a toll booth. This is the first time I've run into a toll booth in American Truck Simulator. Euro Truck, these things were just friggin' prolific. You guys got a lot of toll roads. especially in France. Germany as well? I think it was France mainly. $25? In what world do you live? Not in America. $25 for a toll? No, 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 no. It may cost you $25 eventually. First off, you don't pay the toll at the first toll booth. Silly. Okay, I think I'm merging on somebody. I think I was... Yeah, I was about to hit that guy. Oh, wow. And you toll booth over a bridge? We don't... Is that true? Do we have... Did we allow somebody to privatize a bridge? Are we at the Hoover Dam? Ah! Look out. Is this the Hoover frigging Dam? The water looks at the same level, so I would guess no. What the F? Where are we? We're on the 590. I want to know. We're on the 590. Show me the map. We're on the 590 north of San Francisco. 580. Oh, it looked like 590 in there. 580 on our way to San Rafael. North of San Francisco. I have no idea what that would be. Where that is. That is so weird, if that actually exists. A bridge that has a toll booth. Because we have, like, you might have to pay a toll to cross a bridge to go into another... Actually, you're not supposed to. If you go the... Do we have to pay a toll to get in if you go via the tunnel, or is it just the bridge? In Detroit, okay, between Detroit and Windsor, we have two ways for you to get across the river, the Detroit River. And that's either you go in the tunnel that goes under the river, or you go on the bridge that goes over it. And the bridge was actually constructed, I believe, by a private entity. And I can't remember his name. It's something like Matty McGuffin. I don't know. But the private entity constructed the bridge, got permission from both sides to build the bridge. And so now the bridge, why is it 55 for me and 65 by the roadsides? Because you're a trucker. So we do have a toll to, go over the bridge because it's a privately owned bridge. Did I ever get gas? Yes, you didn't. Okay, slow her down and merge. Deal with me. Deal with me. I'm sorry, I just cut somebody off. But the idea of there's just a bridge that goes over a highway and you have to pay a toll to get there, to use it, or that goes over a river, that's messed up. How the hell else do you get over the river? Is there a public road that goes over a non-privatized bridge, or has the community decided? Is it the state actually charging you to use the bridge? Because that's double taxation. That's just so weird to me. The hell? A toll over a bridge. It's one thing to have a toll road, and the way that's supposed to work, and the way it does work over here, is you stop, is you decide to get on the toll road, and when you're entering the toll road, you get a ticket, and then you provide that ticket to the toll booth at the end when you're exiting, and then you pay however long you were on there. You pay a different amount for where you stop. It's very weird to me. Matty Maroon. I prefer the tunnel personally, says Greg Aubrey. Yes, Matty Moron. That's the guy. And the tunnel is better. The tunnel is definitely better if it's not like jammed up or something. Golden Gate Bridge is a toll booth, says Bearsuit Lane. Really? How the hell do you get that's ridiculous. They don't have enough friggin' taxation in San Francisco. That's weird. That is intensely weird. California. Roads and highways is supposed to be a tax fund and a commission, not, you keep hitting people for it. I mean, it's one thing... I suppose it's double taxing people for, parking in an inner city, but parking is also a thing to discourage people so that you can have the parking, Because it costs everybody a little bit. If it didn't count, you'd never move your car, and then there wouldn't be any parking downtown. So there's a good reason for that, as well as a way to make some extra, revenues. But a bridge? How do you get where you're going if you don't have the bridge? It's ridiculous. Pawn, read this cheer, then read the previous cheer, then read the preceding comments, says a guy called Pie. Did I miss a cheer while I was doing... Pawn, copy and paste it. Copy and paste what? I'm not copy and pasting anything. Ice Cream, you have to copy and paste the quote ad thing I did. Oh, you want me to do it into chat. It's not convenient for me to do. I don't think my commands work through restream.io, and that's the chat where I keep you guys up at. I'd have to be over in the Twitch chat properly. So just save it to Discord, and if none of the moderators get to it, then I'll do it after the live stream. Or, you know, I'll just not, and one of the moderators will eventually get to it. We do need some more moderators in chat, and I have been thinking about it. I have been thinking about who to offer a moderation thing to, but I need to bring it to the current moderators and see what they think, and, you know, I've got ultimate veto power, honestly, obviously, but I'm not going to bring anybody into the group who somebody's going to say, I don't like that idea, unless I like the idea so much because they would say I don't like that idea. Unless I think it's going to balance our moderator community. Quote ad. Angelus 2141. Ah, okay. So maybe when we go to break I might be able to do it. Cheer 5. So the good news is my new oven makes great snacks. The bad news is I made too many snacks. You have a refrigerator? Just save them for later. No quoting me for you, Paul and lol. Cheer 5. No quoting me for you, Paul and lol. Crap. Crap. I'm supposed to be getting off at San Rafael. And this is it, apparently. And we're right here. Wow. Highway just goes right over San Rafael, and then boom, right into the place where we're delivering. They're hot snacks, Paul. Yeah. If you've got too many of them, you know, refrigerate and nuke. Refrigerate and nuke. Do you have a microwave? Is it made of aluminium? Did you get it off the lorry? But I'm at the pub, I have a drink in it, eh? I like making fun. I like making fun. Where are we doing? So we're turning into bitumen. I love the title of this place whenever I get to say it. Bitumen! You're supposed to be hot, like you, says a guy called Pie. Yeah, I'm supposed to be. What the hell happened? Middle age. The middle age spread. Alright, where do you need it? They're not going to let me park it for a 90. Am I, like, a little bit late and they take the options away from you? Or are some of these places they just don't have a difficult place to park? I don't understand the system. I know I've had the option of, like, I want to park it in an impossible way before for 150 XP, but it's been grayed out. I want to do one of those. I want to try one of those, anyway. Okay, Parker over there for an extra 40 experience points. I wonder who the new mod could be. If Para came here more often, I think she'd be a good one, says Hologram 1. All Pawn needs to be hot is a hot pink wag. Well, I can't answer. Alright, so there's where I'm parking. No. Don't look at me. Don't look at me while I'm doing this. It makes me nervous when you look. Okay? I've got a shy bladder. Stop it. I'll get it in there. I got 2 sausages and quantum realities that I can introduce you to. I'll get it in there. Okay, this is not... I'm not making the time. I might not get it in there. Not in one go, anyway. Unless I jackknife it. I could probably jackknife this thing in one go. If I just really... Nah. No. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Push hard. It's not going in one go, Pawn. No, it's not. But push hard anyway. Damn it. I need more space in this direction. It was just a wasted pass. More space over here so that I can make the turn and the curve that I'm looking to make. I'm going to try and straighten it out and pull in here. And now I got it. You got it? I got it. Are you sure? I'm not sure, but I think I got it. Ice Cream, use the pink wig after break, says Hologram 1. That involves a comb. I'm apathetic, okay? I'm apathetic. I was just thinking today about the differences, all of the differences that I didn't know about until I started having a chronic fatigue issue. In my head, you know, I would have put things like tired and fatigued and apathy into very similar categories back in my pre-having a chronic fatigue issue life. And now I know that there are so many subtle colors in the rainbow of fatigue and misery. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I quite enjoy some of the aspects of it. But yeah, there's so many, like, other... Oh, look there's a guy doing a thing back there and making noises and things. Nifty! I'm gonna hit the fence now. How close are you? I'm pretty close. Yeah, I just hit the fence. Alright. Perfect. Except for, you know, not, because I didn't actually get it in there. But I'm gonna get it in now. So many different shades in the rainbow of fatigue. Because I would say, apathy... Is it apathy that I want to say? Or... No, there's apathy as well. But there's... Like, fatigue, to me, is now the physical condition of fatigue, which is definitely not being tired. That's a completely different thing. But fatigue is the physical condition of fatigue. But there are so many other, you know, parts that go along with fatigue. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You're welcome. Lethargy. Lethargy is one of the things that's completely separate from fatigue. You know, lethargy is that which prevents me from doing the things that I really, really want to do because of fatigue. Which I would say, when there's something that I really, really want to do, fatigue will only stop me from doing it, I will say, like, 30% of the time. 30% of the time, fatigue will stop me from doing. And some of that 30% is the I am physically unable to do this because of the fatigue right now. But there's also a percentage within the 30% that is just lethargy. And the lethargy is, you know, encouraged by the fatigue. There's just so many colors in the rainbow of reasons not to do things. No, fatigue that I didn't realize before. And the fact that I didn't know makes me, you know, it allows me to understand and not get as either angry or depressed when people don't get it. When you tell them, I have, you know, fatigue today, and they're like, and? We're all fatigued. I get it, because I didn't know what, you know, I didn't have these definitions before either. I would have lumped a whole bunch of things in together. How did we get onto fatigue? I don't know, I was trying to fill space while we were parking, I guess. That's what I call innuendo, says Hologram 1. In whose end? Which one? There's no better motivation than determination, says Bearsuit Lane. Yeah! And when I have determination, when I really want to do something, I'd say I got a 70% chance of getting it done these days because of fatigue and lethargy. When I don't really want to do something, you know, obviously the percentage success rate goes down. Maybe it's better than that. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's an 80-20. But there are, you know, and maybe when I say things that I really want to do, I guess I'm thinking of, like, in this moment, or I've got a scheduled event, or I'm going to go and do that today or now. You know, I'm talking about, like, procrastination in that sort of thing. I would say it's a 70-30. If it's something that I have to do now, or I'm going to do, you know, the plan was to do it now. But yeah, if I don't really, really want to do something, if I'm just like, yeah, I'd like to do that, that'd be nice. Then it's far more, you know, toss of a coin, because, like, what I acknowledge is that there is a psychological aspect to fatigue, and there's definitely a psychological aspect to my experience with it, because if I do really want to do something, then I will make it happen, except for 30% of the time, for certain reasons. But if I don't really, really want to do it, then I don't have to be as fatigued in order to still decide not to do it. You know? It just takes more to get me going because I know it's harder. You know, it's just, there's nothing real special about it. It's just the way of the world. If it's harder to do, then I'm going to have a certain threshold of what's actually going to get me to go and do something. And living with a fatigue condition, everything gets harder to do. Some days it's not hard at all and everything just works. And especially if your mind's in the right place, then that can help a lot. But some days, doesn't matter if your mind's in the right place or not, you ain't going anywhere, boy. How do we get onto that? I don't know. I will tell you more about my sausage ejaculation dreams when we get back from the midstream break that we're taking right now. Actually, we will turn this thing in the direction of some Zen. I like to do the first. I think this is the best way, the best format that I've got for our Zendnesdays is to start out and be utterly ridiculous and just be stupid and talk about irrelevant things, Netflix TV, and then in the second hour, loosened up, I got my tongue flowing, and then we can start talking about something interesting. But again, for pawn to paste and easily find it. Oh yes, okay, so you've got that quote there for me to do. An Asian man yanking his sausage over a pink lady after surviving a quantum holocaust caused by dinosaur be stealing a baby from an old lady. Copied. And it will be part of the quotes when we come back from our live stream break. 7 minutes, don't go anywhere. I am the Ronin Pawn. Pawn, not on the bus. Hello, I am the Ronan Pawn, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/ there's a guy at my door. I don't know what he was... From the gas company? It says that they've been overcharging for gas here, and do I have a copy of the gas bill? And I ran back in, looking for things. Can we do this quickly? And he's like, well, pull it up on your phone. I don't have time. I've got a valid excuse for being late for once. By the way, thank you.
First class, Graham Breedlove on the trumpet.
No, Ronan Pawn. Ronan Pawn. At twitch.tv/
Master Sergeant Matt Neese with the composition and also the trombone solo.
Alright, just shut up. Just shut up. He's not recognizing my greatness. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Yeah. You know what we haven't heard in a long time? Menage a trois, or Poke Pawns, is how I go. Okay. I can probably line those up for the next live stream break if we have another one before this all comes to a close. Oh, let's not talk about endings. Fragile cargo, fuel economy, just-in-time delivery, or high-value cargo. What's with the just-in-time delivery? You get extra experience points for finishing an important delivery. That could be rather useful. Of course, the fact that I don't, get any gas makes fuel economy very nice to me as well. I've maxed my long distance, which is great. I'm gonna go for just-in-time delivery. Put me under some pressure. So I have to sleep before I take the job or something like that. Vaughn, you really don't strike me as a Roy, let alone a Tuziant, assuming that's your real name. Well, we'll never know a guy called Wa Tousinon? Wa Tousignon? Very French-sounding name, isn't it? Here in the Détroit region of Michigan. He is a Wa and a how to pronounce this. I never would have known that the name Roy was pronounced Wa if not for the member of the Detroit Red Wings, Patrick Roy, aka Patrick Roy. We did a job. You struck me more as a Paul Miller or a Ron Spence. Hey! I don't know who those people are, but this will sound good. Tuziant? Tuziant? Is Hologram 1? I say Tuziant, almost with a Z in it. Tuziant. Across the river in Windsor, they say Tuzinal. Tuzinal. Which is a very Americanized French. And then the deeper you get into Canada, or, properly in France, it'd be something like Tousignon. Tousignon. Just kind of, there's no, the last half of it just turns into bleh. Tousignon. Tousignon? Tousignon? I have no idea how to say that name. It may be mine, I don't know. Where are we? We're in San Rafael. What's shipping out of San Rafael? How do I know which ones are the ones that are going to have the, make the delivery quick and will give you extra experience points deals? How do I know that? I don't know. Should we take gravel or some large tubes? I think this country is going down the large tubes. So I think we're going to take some tubes to Prim, Nevada. In Dutch, it'd sound even worse, to be honest. Would it then? Have you almost got that thing fixed, fella? Have I got the vehicle on? I did, and now I don't. Turn it. There you go. Almost? Nearly? Good. Alright, where am I going to pick up my job? Apparently out and to the right. So, we talked all about the crazy dreams of the Ronan Pawn. I actually think it could be fun to analyze it. Like, it immediately occurred to me when I stepped away from the computer in terms of, like, analyzing that dream. The most obvious thing to me is that the sausage character who snaps the other sausage's neck and then, has a just fire hose ejaculation on her torso. That just screams of repression and release, doesn't it? Doesn't? I mean, that's what that character is all about. Repression and release. He's been a cartoon character trapped in a cartoon character's life, having to play the villain all these years, and then figures out that he's real and he doesn't have to play that, you know, part anymore. Hey, I discovered a recruitment agency. I could hire people and put them to work. That would benefit Zendnesdays in no way whatsoever, as far as I'm aware. Realizes that he's a real boy, and that he doesn't have to play the cartoon character's, you know, existence anymore. And where am I pulling into? Ooh, I want a sausage for my repression. And, you know, immediately, like, doesn't just, like, kill, in fact, doesn't kill at all, the person who he feels has been repressing him, but instead, like, dominates and then humiliates the person who's been repressing him. Interesting. Interesting, if you're trying to analyze me. It's not me, it's a dream I had, okay? And since the dream came from me, it's me. These are my thoughts. Where do I pick this thing up at? Do I have to pull through? I get to pull through the building supplies building. Oh, awesome! Euro Truck never had this kind of cool-ass pickups. Tell me about your G-spots, says Bear Suit Knight. Isn't it the P-spot? Perineum? Isn't that what we're... do men have G-spots? Do we have... Perineum, and then what's the other thing that, you know, you gotta dig around inside to find? What's that one called? I can't remember. We're not supposed to... You guys always make it dirty, and then I just go along. Or I make it dirty, and then you guys take it way out of... I need to stop encouraging that. No, I don't, because it's fun. Because it's fun, and this is a mature stream, and we're all adults here. Right? Are there any more 10-year-olds who... You guys were telling me, you should probably kick them out of chat considering what we were talking about, and then I didn't. Hey, I have moderators for that, and also, you know, it said mature stream when I get on. Where are the kids' parents? This is not the way I picked this up, is it? I don't see any way that I'm on the wrong side of things. Well, screw it. I don't care. I got to drive through an interior building. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it. In fact, can I get through the other side? Hells yeah, you can, Pawn. Alright. Both directions. In fact, lights on. This is nifty. Oh, nifty. My G-spot is in my pants, says a new store. Oh, is this? Is that where they keep it these days? Jesus, I never knew. I think Pawn's subconscious is telling him he's a dog. Oops. You maybe whack the mouse. Which is also a thing that I would do to repress my domination now. Yeah, so that's just one character. And then there's the other character, okay, that really jumps out at me as someone who could rather easily be... Where the hell do you want me to go? Oh, here we are. Yes! Okay, and it's from this side. Got it. Who could very easily be psychoanalyzed. And that would be the character who, at the beginning, the old woman approaches, and she's carrying, you know, a baby in her arms, and he has to decide whether or not to give up his place in what I would describe as a character who is in, you know, midlife. You know, is a my age, actually. Oh crap! It is turning into me. You know, something like that. In the 30s is what I would say. Was what this fellow was, and he has to decide whether to give up his place of relative more safety to the old woman who's carrying the baby, or to keep it. And his decision is to take the baby. Yeah, that wasn't a good parking job, was it? No, not at all. His decision is to take the baby from her, and leave her to deal with the winds that are passing by, with the nuclear holocaust, the quantum holocaust, rather, that's going on outside. How do you psychoanalyze that guy, huh? Because, I mean, he just made a very logical decision, which was that, you know, I still got life ahead of me. You're an old woman, you know, you got 10 years left in you, you're lucky. But there is this baby here. I guess I'll take the responsibility of the baby, but I ain't giving you my spot of safety, so that you can get another 10 years of being old. Kind of a cold, heartless, self-enabling decision. But he also he was looking out for the kid as well. Interesting. Interesting. I'll be honest, Pawn, I think you'd make a great Dom. It gives me shivers when you do that whole yelling, "Why don't you listen to me when I'm beating you?" No. It's old. And it's one of my favorites, too. One of my favorites. I know sticks are still pants, but I like... What? Oh, slacks are still pants, but I like slacks. What the hell is the difference between slacks and pants? I mean, jeans are pants. Slacks are definitely not jeans, though, so... Slacks are just non-jean pants? What are slacks made of? What are we talking about here? We were supposed to be talking about Zen, Pawn. It's a Zendnesday. All right. Let me look at my notebook here. What's relevant to what's going on here? What? What are slacks? Says the News Lord. Are you gonna... I'm supposed to yield to you. You should probably be going faster than 15 miles per hour on a freeway where the speed limit is 55. I'm just thinking out loud here. But maybe things would work out better. Be more like casual slacks or formal khakis. Same thing, basically, says a guy called. I guess that's what I think when I think slacks as well. Is something in the khaki variety. Yeah. I've got this one pair of pants from the Zen Center, because, you know, it being a Buddhist monastery, it was a very, like, somebody made the pants, that are really nice. They used to fit me, too. They still fit because they're, drawstring, you know, because they're kind of homemade pants, so they use a drawstring for them, but they used to fit me real well, and they're real nice, just because they are just simple, you know, soft cotton, no crazy materials, cotton, you know, that are straight-legged, because that's what you do when you're making homemade pants, you know. Don't try and get fancy with it and give them a boot cut. Just straight down, sew both seams together, boom, I got legs for pants. One of my favorite pants to wear. They're comfortable, and they're different, too. We need more different, don't we? Just generally in this society, can we use a little bit more different? You know? Feels like a lot of our and my, I think I'm saying my, but I'm going to put it on you as well. I feel like a lot of our modern shopping habits have to do with trying desperately to find these, you know, heavily mass-produced, manufactured clothing, but that feels different, feels unique, feels like it's worth something. Do I need to be going slower? Because I see that there are things... I'm going to move over anyway. Doesn't seem to be an actual construction zone. No, I just got somebody pulled over. Are you going to hit me for a toll charge because I used the bridge when I get to the other side, you bastards? Might be a different bridge. I don't know where the hell we are. No, we're on the 580. Yeah, they're going to hit me for another toll charge. Ooh, we get to go on the bottom of the bridge now. Yay! Don't you agree, though? Isn't a lot of it, like... Isn't that where, like, most of the marketing seems to land, too? Is how can we sell people, you know, generic crap that's all made the same way? It's the same t-shirt from the same company, Gildan large cotton blend, you know. But we've printed your favorite, like, superhero characters or comic book, or we mashed up, you know, Transformers and Tron, you know. It's all just a desperate attempt to make something that's mass-produced and just common into something that feels like it's worth something, that feels special and unique, even though you know it's not. You know they mass-produced this one, too, even if it's a mashup of Voltron and Mega Man. Mass-produced the hell out of this. They sold a bunch of them. There's 1,000 people walking around wearing the same t-shirt, but it feels special. You know what I recommend? Learning to make your own pants. Ain't that hard. Get yourself a sewing machine. I'm sure grab them on Craigslist or eBay for like 30 bucks. And head down to fabric store, buy something that feels nice, and then just, you know, learn to sew a crotch. That's really all you need to do. That's the hardest part, right? The crotch. Work the crotch out. And then life is peachy. I don't want generic crap. I like plain and basic, but only if it's timeless. I like the timeless plain shirt and jeans look, but otherwise it has to have some sort of non-common quality to it. Right? Right? And that's That's why I'm not really satisfied with my wardrobe. That, and because, you know, my figure isn't what it once was. But even when my figure was nice, and it was nice, baby, there are pictures. I always wanted shirts and jackets and things for men that were designed with a male aesthetic that had a taper to them. And what the hell is it, again, you know, with the clothing industry, that, at least the generic stuff, thinks that men don't look good with a taper? Everyone looks good with a taper, if you can get away with it. You know, have the chest come out and then taper down to the waist, and then, I mean, you gotta watch out that it doesn't flare too much. It's gotta be subtle, but it's gotta be there. A little bit of a taper is all I'm asking for. I really do. It's one of those things, like, I really hope at some point in my life that I do, you know, acquire wealth and goods, even though I never tried. Wealth and means and stuff. It's like the one thing that kind of stands out that, man, I would really love to have some fitted clothes. I'd really love to know what that's like. To have clothes that were designed to fit me and to look good on me, you know? Love to have a pair of, like, properly cobbled shoes. You know, shoes that were designed for your feet by a cobbler who knows what the hell they're doing. A shoemaker who knows what they're doing. Instead of being, you know, wearing the product of sweatshop labor from 13-year-olds in countries where they can pay off the governments in order to look the other way, which is what Nike and Adidas and Reebok and all of them really are. And then charging you, you know, $90 to $180 for, you know, these things that cost them $6 to make, or $6 a leather, faux sometimes leather, and some kind of composite rubber so they don't have to pay for real rubber and that kind of stuff. Taper is great, says Hologram One. I'd really like to know that, what it's like to have, you know, fitted clothing. At least just a nicely fitted outfit. More than just a suit, too, because a suit is something you have to wear, you know. I'm not going to wear a suit on a daily basis. Just a fitted set of clothes that I like the look of, and shoes. That's my one real, like, you know, I'd like to give that to myself someday, to know what it's like. You know, the other stuff, oh, I want a big mansion, a huge house. Like, the most that I would do if I were a man of means, I would go for, like, I would buy or rent a, one of those sort of industrial warehouse spaces that has been turned into a livable space. There's not a lot of walls, it's just kind of open floor plan, but, you know, you got a bathroom and a kitchen, and you make your own walls if you want them, and I'd like to just be in a wide, open, free space that was also comfortable, you know, a little bit more than a cement floor and brick wall. I don't mind the big block brick walls, but it's got to be part of the aesthetic, part of a design, you know. But yeah, I'm not into a lot of, like, posh things. I don't think I'd enjoy a posh lifestyle that much. But that would be my big thing, would be I really like to know fitted clothes, a pair of shoes that were made for me, what those feel like, what it feels like to walk around in that, to know you look good, because you were involved in the process of making them. They were made to your body. No belt, shirt tucked in pants, it's clean, minimalistic, and super modern, says a guy called Pot. Tucked in shirt, though, huh? I like that, too, but only when I'm thin and the tucking doesn't show like a pillow that has emerged from where once there was svelte abs. Yeah, nice fast turn. Right around the corner, he signaled even. Looking good feels great, says a guy called Pie. Yes, I've looked good occasionally. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I don't want to look so good that I feel uncomfortable in my own skin, though. That would be that's where you gotta figure it out. Where's the medium point? Where do I feel comfortable and like me, but also sexy me? Make sure not to be fat. I don't tuck it in with belts because it makes me look pretty fat, says a guy called Pie. Yeah, maybe you just gotta have, you know, with my body, I just have to have pants that fit me. How did we get onto this? I don't know, Pong. You started talking, and here's where we are. Deal with it. I'm supposed to be talking Zen. I now have a stack of pants, of jeans in particular, outside of my dresser, that is larger than the stack of jeans that I have in my dresser that actually fit me, that I don't feel, you know, compressed within. I'm still, you know, I'm not I'm a reasonable weight, especially within this culture, in America, this society. I'm a reasonable weight. Yeah, all the pants that I bought, I mean, I just for a while there, Christ, I was so skinny. When I came out of the Zen Center, we'd been eating this diet of raw food that was then followed up by nutritarian, which basically was just raw food plus cooked beans and squash and things like that. There were a couple of things that you could cook, but it was basically the same concept of raw food, greens, cruciferous vegetables, berries, fruit, natural things, no processed, no bread, and stuff like that, and no cow's milk. And from that diet, I was a skinny little dude. I was wearing smalls, and some of them looked big on me, small shirts. A lot of them actually looked big on me. I found. This American sizing. I guess it makes sense to me now that I'm in my middle age, but when I was small, I was like, Jesus, the smalls, I'm swimming in them. The hell's the scaling on this thing? I think I actually bought some jeans that were like 28s in the waist or something. Just ridiculous. I would guess right now I'm a 32 in the waist, and I have some jeans that are 32s properly, and they feel alright. I could probably go up to a 33 even now. Why are we talking about your sizes? I don't know! You gotta fill the time with something. I just don't like to force the Zen talk, you know? I know that's what we're here for, but I don't like to force it. I know what I did want to talk about, though, when we return to Zen, and that was, I want to talk about being dumb. And maybe this is a pretty good time, considering that I've just spent the first hour talking about a giant walking sausage who spooges onto the other sausage, and then followed it up with, boy, I'd really like a nice pair of pants. This is a good time to talk about being dumb. Because when I went into the Zen Center, I went in on the heels of a time in my life where I was experimenting with being... I mean, it's rude to say dumb, but just being not a snobby, stuck-up, intellectual prick with an opinion on everything. I had decided to throw myself into situations that I wasn't used to, that didn't seem like they were, you know, my place. That's not my thing. I'm not interested in going out there and doing that thing. Dancing at the club? Not really my crowd, not my scene. You know, I'm more of a... Well, I guess I wasn't anything at that point. You know, I was more of a coffee shop, bring your acoustic guitar, read some poetry while you twiddle on the thing, you know, that's more my speed. I'm not into that. What? Your Unitarian church is holding a lock-in over the weekend, and you're going to invite me to come? I'm not a Unitarian. I don't know what Unitarianism was about, and no, I'm not. You know, that was the person that I used to was, and at the time, just before I found the Zen Center, I had become a person who was intentionally trying to experience things they hadn't experienced, and intentionally trying to drop some of that cynical, narcissistic, you know, that sort of activity is for other sorts of people. I started going out to bars. I've mentioned in previous live streams, I started going out to, like, club bars, you know, and where it was about dancing and meeting people for no particular reason who you probably weren't going to have a relationship with the next day kind of thing, and I showed up to that scene, I threw myself completely in. I was out there dancing, I was meeting people, started to meet people who I'd see, you know, when I came back the next week or, you know, the next night, that kind of thing. Start to recognize people, hey, how's it going? And it became my scene because I was showing up. That's all that it really took. And, you know, I never took any of it too seriously. I took it exactly as seriously as you should when you're anywhere, which is, this is where I am and this is what I'm doing. But I didn't define... You know, the thing was I was letting go of the idea that what I do and where I go and who I hang out with and the things that I like and my opinions on this and that and the other thing are me, I was letting go of an identity that was built on crap. That's what was going on there. And realizing that there was a whole lot more life to experience when I set aside my notions of, you know, this is who I am, and if I go out and, you know, go dancing at the club with those people to Britney Spears music, then that does not reflect well upon who I am. And I realized that I was not this bullshit identity that I'd cooked up, and just started exploring. Suddenly life opened up. There were so many more possibilities, so many more things that I could do on a Friday night. And those of you who are still living in that space where it's like, you know, I'm this kind of person, these are the things I like, and those things I don't like, and those people, I don't know what the hell they're on about. They're out doing stupid things and getting themselves in bad situations. They're never going to go anywhere in life. They need to knuckle down and pay attention. If you're in that space, I've been there. I was very much that person. Not exactly that person, but a version of that person. A narcissistic, self-involved person who defined themselves by their ideas and their opinions, and those opinions included what you do and what you do not do. And if you're there, can I please recommend, for the sake of your own freedom as a human being, that you throw yourself into situations that you have hitherto looked down upon. Because what you're going to find out is there's a reason why all those other people are out doing that. Because it's fun, and it's enjoyable. And you don't need to define yourself by it. And more so, your freedom comes when you stop defining yourself by all of the other things that you do and that are your thing and that do jive with your ethos and what you think life is about and how you think people should, what's right and what's wrong, all that kind of stuff. Because that's just, you know, that's the smallest part of who you are, and it's the smallest part of your life. And if you only live within those boundaries, you are the warden. You're the jail keeper, baby. You're the person who's only ever going to live a life within that little box you've created for yourself, because you've already decided that this isn't good, and that's not good, and that's not right, and those people are dumb. They're acting dumb. They're stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? It's a waste of my time. I want intellectually challenging fare, and I recommend giving it a try, because I did and had to. Thank God I did. Get off your fucking high horse and go throw yourself into places and experiences that you have told yourself are dumb. That's how I came into the Zen Center, was on the heels of that. And it was not a dumb thing that I decided to participate in, but it was the kind of thing that I would have said no to if I would have been my previous self. A woman that I knew named Courtney was going to a Unitarian church lock-in. Her mother was a minister in the Unitarian church, and the Unitarian church was having a lock-in, and she invited me to it at precisely this time in my life where I'm experimenting with things, and I realized when she invited me to it that I had no idea what Unitarianism was about, and, you know, she'd been a friend for years, and it seemed very weird and odd that I had no idea what, you know, her belief system was, or what the church, anyway, that she liked to visit, and her mother's church, that I had no idea what was going on when it came to that side of her life. So I said yes. What's it hurt me? It's a weekend lock-in kind of thing. I don't have to work or be anywhere. I didn't have any other plans. Yeah, I'll go to this Unitarian church lock-in with you for the weekend. Youth lock-in. And I did. And it was because I said yes to going to the Unitarian church lock-in that I discovered that there was a Zen Buddhist monastery hidden in the urban areas of Detroit. And there's a lot that happened. Well, you know, there was a lot of other activities that went on at that Unitarian church thing, but I'm just going to take it straight to the heart of the matter, which is that they had, on one of the days that we did the lock-in, they had a, you know, we were going to volunteer day. A volunteer day, which is also something that had never been in my life. Yes, it had. Yes. Yeah, actually, it had a lot, now that I think of it. But, it wasn't the kind of thing that I was doing right then or that would have came to me that I would have thought, hey, let me find places where I can volunteer my time when I've got a free day. That'll be helping someone or doing something for a community service or an outreach or something like that. Just wasn't on my radar at that point. I'm gonna go. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we're going to go volunteer at a myriad of places, and you have your places to choose. We can go to the recycling center, or we can go to this place or that place. We're going to send different groups to these different places that we've decided to do this at. Which do you want to be a part of? Oh yeah, by the way, there's a Buddhist monastery in Detroit that we'll be visiting. Oops, I didn't mean to even try to lock the differentials. I was trying to put the cruise control. By the way, one of the options is we can go help them plant a garden, help them prepare a garden at the Detroit Zen Center, Buddhist monastery. And for years, I had been saying, you know what I think I need, as a joke? I've been saying, you know what I need? I need some kind of agnostic, monastic environment where I can just retreat from the world and figure out what the hell's going on in life. And then, because I decided to go to this thing, this Unitarian Church lock-in, and learn about my friend, I find myself walking in the doors of what is basically an agnostic, monastic environment, where you don't have to bring a belief system, you don't care what you believe, or if you've got gods or not, or what you think that nature is, or any of that. Zen is a practice, not a religion. It is a method, not a set of teachings even. Especially Zen is not focused on teaching anybody anything. For as much as we talk shit here, and I'm handing teachings down to you, that was the 5% of the time that I spent in the Zen monastery was Dharma talks, which was the only way that I ever got teachings. Nobody really shoved a book under my nose and said, here, read this and find out the story of Buddha. I had to go out on my own to find out what the story of Buddha was, and I still don't know it very well today, because Zen does not focus on knowledge. It focuses on experience. It focuses on life, on what you can live. It focuses on wisdom. And wisdom is not brought about by knowledge. Knowledge is your multiplication tables. Knowledge is things you read in a book. Knowledge is things you figure out on paper. That's all well and good. We certainly need that in this world. Knowledge is fine. It sure the fuck ain't wisdom. And no one's true wisdom ever comes from something that they learned. The only way that learning and knowledge turns into wisdom is when that learning and knowledge inspires experience. And then when you have an experience, now you can claim to have some fucking wisdom about it. I found my way into the Zen Center by volunteering there. In an era and a time in my life when I was doing things that a past version of myself would have called dumb activities. Going out to clubs and, meeting people that I didn't, from across the room. This doesn't look like they're my kind of person. We're not going to be talking about Star Trek. I wasn't necessarily that interested, but, the kind of things that we talk about here, this community, I would prejudge people and decide, it doesn't look interesting to me. Books by their covers. That was the person I was, and I had entered a period of my life that I could reasonably define as doing the things that I once considered to be dumb, to find out what it was that was in these dumb things that had everybody else interested. And me, standing in the corner going. And so when I went into the Zen Center, I will be honest with you, I'm not sure if anyone in the Zen Center actually knew how smart I am in the 3 years that I was there. I'm not sure that they knew. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them suspected that I had trouble tying my own damn shoelaces for the kind of dumb that I brought into the Zen Center and that I maintained while I was at the Zen Center. I had done, for the first 20-some years of my life, the being an intellectual, stuck-up snob prick with, the right opinions about everything. And I'll bet you haven't thought of this. I had done that. I had done that to death. I was tired of that. I was not getting very far in my life with that. I was not having the fun that other people seemed to be having in my life with that. So when I went into the Zen Center and decided that I wanted to be a monk after having an experience, after meeting my Zen master in that first day when we went out and volunteered, our reward for helping them with the volunteering of putting in the garden was to have our own private Dharma talk with the Zen master. And as I've said before, he walked into the Zen hall after we were all seated, sat down, opened his mouth, and started talking. And I don't know what the hell he said, but there was something in his voice. I'm a very auditory person, and I'm a very vibrational person. And there was a vibration to his voice and to the man himself that told me he had peace in him in a way that I didn't. And it wasn't a voice that he was putting on, it's just his natural voice, just his speaking voice. And it wasn't his voice, it was the vibration of the man who entered the room. When I decided that I wanted to stay and that I wanted to be a monk because I had to figure out what was in him that wasn't in me, what he knew that I didn't know, what it was that allowed him to have the peace that was clearly evident in him that I didn't have in me and that I've been wanting and seeking all my life. I walked in dumb and stayed dumb. Tier 5 Pawn, you should do next Zendnesday to stage 9. It's a great game for Thump. We couldn't get through a live stream without you bringing it up, could we? It's okay. I like it. It's another nickel in my pocket. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow down, slow down. Holy crap, what are we doing, guys? I went in dumb, and I stayed dumb. And I might not have stayed as dumb, and I might not have maintained the dumb as I was going in, if the teachings of Zen wouldn't have basically told me, be dumb right now. Be dumb through this. Because what I was being asked by my Zen master and by the Zen teachings and by the community at large was to just go with the flow, which is what I'd been doing, and what led me to the Zen Center was going with the flow. And I was being asked, just go with the flow, because this is a very deep spiritual practice with 2,600 years of history to it that is rich in seeming contradictions and hidden truths that when you hear them said out loud, you'll go, oh yeah, well obviously. And then later, you'll realize the actual truth of it. And sometimes teachings that you go, what? Didn't you just say exactly the opposite of what you just said? And then later, in your practice, you'll get it. You'll understand what is being said there. But you have to experience it. You have to have a frame of reference. And when you're first coming into it, you're not going to have that frame of reference. You're going to be the caveman who I'm trying to describe an airplane to. You know, we all share the same human experience, and there's a lot that we can talk about that everybody just gets. There is a fair bit in Zen that you can't talk about and everybody just gets. You have to have a set of experience in order to understand it first. You have to develop that. And that comes through your experience, and it comes through just doing the practice. You have to open the flower before the flower can, absorb the light of day. So I was being asked to just go with the flow. And it was a choice that I was making, people can sometimes from the outside, you could look at Zen and go, Jesus, there's some cultish stuff that's going on in there. And you know what? Not wrong. Not wrong. I wouldn't deny it. There is definitely some stuff that you can look at and say those are the same sorts of things that go on inside of a cult. But I was choosing to be there for reasons that I knew. I'm an intelligent human being. I was too intelligent for my own tastes, let alone my own good. No one was duping me, no one was brainwashing me. They were just asking, if you're going to be here, give us the benefit of the doubt. assume that we know what the fuck we're talking about. And just follow. And maybe you'll see. And if, you know, you follow a Sola and you get to a certain place, you're like, I can't follow this anymore. Then that's what you'll have found, and that's fine. This isn't for you, you know? Or maybe our teachings are flawed. You know, nobody knows. You don't walk in and know that the professor of your new 301 biology course is a genius. I knew it was going to freeze. I knew it was going to freeze because it started to jitter earlier. You don't walk into any college class and know that the person teaching it is actually going to be a good teacher, you know? So I was just being asked, give us the benefit of the doubt, just follow where we lead, go with us, and, you know, if it crosses some kind of personal line with you, well then you'll know where your line is. You know, if you have to call it because you're not... So I just followed. And for me, following was being dumb. Being what I would have called dumb. Hello, Zendnesday, by the way. Following what a previous incarnation of myself would have called, you know, being dumb. Showing up and not trying to bring my intellect and not trying to solve the situation for everybody and not... Just being there. Letting other people lead, looking for gas stations, and not seeing them. Damn it, Barstow. Okay, if I go all the way around the edge of Barstow, then I can get some gas and then get back on. Alright, I'm gonna do it. Or no, I need to sleep. You don't need gas, you need to sleep, and there's tons of places to sleep here. Jesus. My brain, people. I wouldn't trust it. If I were you, I wouldn't listen to my Zen ramblings. I went in, and I followed. And I just found out, like, what are you doing? And I didn't try and bring my personality into it and say, I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. And I watched as other people came into the Zen Center and brought their egos and their identities and hung on to them. And we all did, everybody who came in. You know, we've been trained that our egos are the best, biggest, baddest, most important things in life by Western culture. It's not like you can drop them in a day. But I would watch people who just didn't get it at all and who weren't ready, were not ready in the slightest to give it a chance. We had a fellow who came in who loved to bake bread, and he brought his own like cultured sourdough mold or whatever it is that you use to make sourdough. He loved to bake bread. We were, you know, Zen Buddhists, so we're not eating any bread here. You know, we're on a raw vegan vegetarian diet, and he said, well, bread, there's nothing wrong with it. It's processed food. We're on a raw diet. Well, I still want to make my bread. Well, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. But people are going to look at you a certain way. What am I doing why do they have me turning left? It looks like I can get back on the highway to the right. And it's far closer. This GPS is shit. So he came in, you know, he was vegan, he was vegetarian, but he wasn't eating the diet. And it's like, well, you're here now. Eat the diet that we're eating. It's a big deal, you know? You're not going to be here forever. Eat the diet we're eating, follow the teachings that, you know, our teacher gives, that sort of thing. Just set down your identity, your ego, your preferences, and do this. That's what we're all here for, do this. He could not. He could not. Have you got me going right now? What the hell is up with the GPS? I thought I was going to the south to the left, and now they got me going right. Do they not realize that I can cross this bridge and turn left? Are they taking me well out of my way and I'm going to have to U-turn because the GPS is stupid? Don't do that, please. I don't know, I'm going to follow it. I shouldn't have followed it. I don't know. He brought in his identity, his ego, his opinions about every little thing. And, you know, he held them quietly. And then one day, my Zen master, because he knew who he had, he knew what sort of person he had and where they were. I think, anyway. He took us all out for a big meal. Occasionally we'd have a big day out from the Zen Center. Took us all out for a big meal to this Chinese restaurant. As soon as we got there, sat down, he ordered for the table, as he usually did. Said, okay, bring us some beef bowls, and just proceeded to order all kinds of freaking meat. We're on a raw, vegan, vegetarian diet. He knows what he's doing. Ordered all this stuff. All this meat and stuff that we usually never ate. And then said, dig in. And we all happily dug in. You know, before I went there, I wasn't a vegetarian. I wasn't eating that much meat anyway, and I didn't mind changing my diet. I was pretty comfortable in the other diet as well. But yeah, I'm a Zen student in training. Put it in front of me, tell me to eat it, I'll eat it. Food? That's all I gotta do right now? I don't have to, like, be mindfully meditating and Zen or homing or anything like that. Just eat, and you're paying? Fucking hell, I'm speeding. What about him? He's not a truck boy. Speeds are different. Ice cream, you're joining back on the direction you were going. It's fine. Oh, thank God. So he orders a bunch of meat. This guy won't eat it. Rest of us, we're all, you know, practicing, but we all haven't had any meat at the Zen Center. We're all there. The Zen Master is now saying, eat the meat, and he's eating the meat himself. What's your problem? Can you not do this here and now today, and then still be you for tomorrow? Is that not a thing you can do? Can you not be a vegetarian tomorrow? Because today, right now, we're all doing, all the vegetarians around you are doing a eating meat thing. It's the activity. It was a teaching in disguise. This guy who didn't drink alcohol either. So my Zen master ordered us a bunch of sake. Bring me beef bowls and sake. He tries to feed us. Just have a little sake. Come on, I don't drink. Just drink a little. Just have a. Oh crap! It hesitated. I think it's gonna crash again. Just have a little sake. No. I don't do that. Well, you know, Zen Center's not gonna order you any food just for you. You know, we're all happy to eat what everybody else is eating. If you're not happy, if you got money on you, feel free and order. I guess. I don't know. And then, Zen Master ordered ice cream for dessert. He was lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerant. This guy had the most miserable experience ever. Sitting there while everybody else is just enjoying themselves, eating this delicious food that the Zen Center paid out probably $200 bill between all the liquor and everything else that we ate there, and he's sitting there, and because he's so stuck on him, he won't participate. And so while we all had a great time, he had the shittest experience ever. And you know what would have changed that for him? Just eat the fucking meat. Have a little sake. Maybe not the ice cream if you're, your bowels are gonna erupt. But there's no problem. It's just a choice you're making not to eat meat. Well, it's my conviction, I don't think that animals should be mistreated like that. And I thought in a Buddhist, Zen center that you guys would be on board with that. We're on board with Zen, is what we're on board with. We're on board with teaching you and others that you've got yourselves locked in little fucking prisons based on your ideas of how the world works. Yeah, 7 days out of the week, 30 days out of the month, and about 89 days out of a quarter, we are vegetarians. We are not only vegetarians, but we are raw foodists, and we won't eat the bread that you want to cook. How can you eat bread? But today, here and now, our Zen master, who we've asked to teach us, said, eat some meat and drink some wine. And how rude and stupid and horrible of you to say no. And guess what, who's responsible for the horrible experience that you had? Ooh, it did that thing again. Don't crash. He's responsible for the experience he had because he was so stuck up. Had everything just shoved up his ass so tightly that he couldn't move. And And I guess that's the life he's planning on living. Is, opportunities are going to arise, things around him are going to come up, people are going to be, you know, not his kind of people, and he's going to avoid them all and live in a tiny little box where life can't really happen. Where only the life that he wants to happen will happen. And we're all doing some version of that. Or have done some version of that. And that's the teaching in ordering the vegan a whole bunch of meat, is what else are you missing that you've decided is beneath you? I guess, you know what, today, screw it. Let's talk about, I'm going to tell you the story. I'm still talking about being dumb, you know? It's about just, like, stop beating life to death with your fucking intellect and live it. But I guess today I'll talk about the prostitute in South Korea who my senior student paid for me and another student. The story you've been waiting for years. Many of you have been waiting for months anyway, since I mentioned that it was a thing that happened once, and then didn't fill you in on the details. We traveled to South Korea as monks to tour and we weren't ordained, but in order for us to be able to travel and stay in the monasteries and, you know, have the kind of treatment that our Zen master wanted us to have, and have access to South Korean Zen that he wanted us to have. Everyone, whether they were ordained or not, everyone who came on the trip had to go in disguise as an ordained monk. You know, if they asked you if you were ordained, we were all Henjinim. Henjinim. It's spelled like with Hyangjj. Henjinim. Henjinim is how we said it anyway. So we were traveling as monks in South Korea, visiting Zen temples and Zen masters, and traveling to Zen hermitages to sit with Zen masters who were teaching, you know, a handful of students off in the mountains somewhere who'd been studying hardcore Zen, you know, where you actually do sit in meditation for 24-hour periods and 7-day 24-hour periods like the Buddha, you know, himself, and where you go off to meditation retreats for 3 months at a time and meditate 12 to 16 hours a day, and when you're not meditating, everything is still basically meditation. He wanted us to see all that, and so we're touring the country, and one night at a bar. There's a certain name for these bars, for this particular kind of bar, where you can go in and the girl serving you will serve you and then sit down and get kind of touchy with you, and flirt with you, and at the end of the night, if you'd like her to continue touching, it's something that can be arranged. We went into a bar, and our server, you know, sidled up to me, was touching. She's speaking in Korean. I don't know Korean. The senior student was the person who spoke Korean the best, and she didn't know Korean very well. She had enough she'd been living there for a couple of months, and she'd been studying for some time. She had enough conversational. She could figure some things out. She could handle transactions. She knew how many won to offer, that sort of a thing. And so our server spent a few hours while we were drinking and getting... Oh, God, how are you supposed to do this? Well, we were drinking and having a good old time, taking the edge off of being, you know, monks in South Korea, undercover, we were there for over a month. Over a month we stayed there. I don't want to say 2 months. I don't remember exactly how long we were there. She's silent up and touching and hanging on me. And I'm uncomfortable as hell because, you know, I'm a Zen student, and I don't know what the hell to do with this, that sort of a thing. But, you know, I'm drinking, so I'm not that uncomfortable. Maybe not uncomfortable as hell. Also because I'm a Zen student. But, you know, it's not something I'm into. I'm not aroused by this prospect, certainly. But yeah, end of the night comes, Zen Master's sitting right there, and my senior student decides to order me and another fellow who I'd been with, who was technically my senior student as well, a whore for the evening. Decides to pay our server to have sex with the both of us. Together. I don't believe in turns. I believe together. I don't know. I don't speak Korean. I'm not getting this part. I'm definitely not getting this part, but I need to be doing something while I'm telling this story. I don't speak Korean. I don't know what the deal was. I'm not even sure. Oh, crap. Not even sure how much she paid. But, yeah, to my sensibilities, the deal was, you know, both of them for this amount of money. And apparently it cost a fair bit. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That ain't gonna happen. She hands the girl a lot of money, and the Zen Master left while she was doing the negotiation. While my senior student was doing the negotiation. None. But he knew what was going on. Went back up to his room. And, she makes the negotiation, and then everyone leaves, except for me and the senior student and the whore. I just like the word. I think there's nothing wrong with sex work as far as I'm concerned. What is it with you always fighting on Zendnesday? God, I'm telling the story of the South Korean hooker that my Zen senior student ordered me, and you're distracted with that? She pays, everyone leaves, it's just me and my other student and the woman. And the bar is closing up for the end of the night, so now's the time. There's a room in the back where you'd go. My senior student gets up, and I get up, and we walk to the front door, turn around, senior student says, "Annyeonghaseyo," or something like that, whatever the greetings are. She says, "Thanks!" The money in her hand, bye! Slams the door shut, and we walk away. We go back to bed as well, after everyone else has gone back to bed. There's my horror story in South Korea. Because the thing is, it's a little-known practice amongst Zen monks that at some point, you know, you'll get out of the monastery, you'll go down the mountain, you go into town with the other monks, with the boys, and it's a thing that you will go to the brothels, and everyone will go to the brothels, and you'll take the new guy to the brothel is what you'll do. Take the new guy, the junior student to the brothel, and you'll pay for him. And you have to, like, push them in the door because they're going, "What? But I'm a monk. We don't do this." And they'll pay for you, and then they'll shove you in the door with the girl. And then the thing is, you're supposed to go in there, and first it's a bit of an act to convince a South Korean sex worker, prostitute, to not have sex with you because you've paid, and you know, the girl in the bar wasn't a professional sex... I mean, she was, obviously, but she's in a brothel. She's in a bar kind of thing. In the proper brothel, these girls are paid. They, you know, they take joy in their work, and they take, you know, they're proud of their work. They take pride in what they do. They're giving people pleasure. And if you've paid for it, and you've got 45 minutes with me or something like that, I'm here for you, you know? They don't want to not do what you've paid for because they have pride in their work and they value their work and they value themselves and their time, and, you know. So the deal is that monks will take other monks to the brothel who, are being kind of indoctrinated, kind of hazed in. And what's expected is that they drop you off there, they kick you in the door, lock the door behind you, and then you're supposed to go in for, however long, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and, convince the girl not to sleep with you. You're a monk. No, please, no. And then you come back out, and you just, kind of wink at the guys, and, hey, yeah, kind of thing. It's a very hazing kind of ritual that goes on. That's actually a thing that happens in at least South Korean Buddhism. Part of sort of the culture of the Buddhists, of the monks in training. And I like that. However, I do have my own sort of interpretation on what's really going on there. And what's really going on with that little practice. And I'd like to tell you about it. But we've come to another live stream break. How about we have another live stream break? When we come back, I will tell you my interpretation on the idea of monks buying each other prostitutes. And what I think it means. So, Pawn, you turned it down because it was a trick of temptation or something? I turned it down, Hologram 1. Let me be clear. I turned it down because I was the junior student to my senior student, okay? The person who, had been bought for the two of us, but the person who was with me was technically my senior student, had arrived at the Zen Center, before I had. That's the caste order. So, if he turned it down, I turned it down. I was following him. And I'm thankful that I didn't have to make that decision. I mean, probably would have made the same decision, which is almost a little sad, and I'll get into that when we come back from the live stream break. But, yeah, it was real easy for me. Being the junior student, I was never happier to be a junior student than in that moment, knowing that all I have to do is follow this guy wherever he goes. If he goes in that back room, I guess I'm going in that back room. Nobody can hold me accountable for what I do right here. Whether I leave and that's the right thing, or whether I go in and that's the right thing, with big quotes around it. And that's exactly, the big quotes is what I want to talk to you about when I get back from this, when we get back from the 7-minute live stream break. So don't go anywhere. I had a request for some live stream break music, and it was something. Doesn't it go like doodle doot, doot doot doot, doodle doot doot? Oh crap! Where is it in my list? I'll tell you what. I'll play this one because it's right in front of me, and then I'll play the other one. Back in 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. This live stream is not over. Pawn not out.
I want to be the very best, like no pawn ever was. To build them is my real test, to fly them is my cause. I will travel across the skies, searching far and wide. Gather science to understand the goo that is inside. Rolling Kong, gotta catch you. It's you and me, playing career mode in KSP. Ooh, you're my best friends in a world we must defend. That's Kevin. Of course, so true. Jebediah will pull us through. You'll teach me how this leads you. Road and Bond, road and Bond. Every mission along the way, with courage I will face. I will fly them every day, straight into outer space. Come with me, the time is right, our node is drawing near. SAS and thrusters full, blow up the landing gear. Rolling Kong, it's you and me, build it in three-sided symmetry. Ooh, you're my best friends on a channel we must subscribe to. Come on, click it. Oh, the things we'll do, forget our staging and kill the crew. You'll tee-hee, Pokemon will sue, and then we'll all explode because of Road and Bond. Road and Bond.
You know why? Cause I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't matter whether I'm cool or not. Just a taste of the word gives me the gut rock. It's not pop to just stop like a blood clot. Cause we're here to blow up like we came from a rock. Electronica embezzled by hip hop. Here to kick ass until the heart stops. Hipsters put on their cool shades, and thrifters keep the money they've been paid. And drifters have nothing to say but mind lifters don't give a damn what they say.
Wait, undeceivable, shit's unbelievable. You never ever guessed you'd hear this mix, it's inconceivable. Ouch, too hot, baby, back out of the kitchen. This is what you love at Wonderful, so daddy, quit your bitchin'. I'm a poisonous affliction with a fireball addiction. Man, it burns like hell and tastes like heaven. You say bold, itchin'. Now I got you campus itching. This is music for your children. If you never heard the cue before, you don't know what you're missing. Hey!
The quarters all present, better lose the box.
Doesn't matter if you're
cooler. Hottest of the quarters all present, better lose the box.
Doesn't matter if you're
cooler. Hottest of the quarters all present, better lose the box.
Doesn't matter if you're
cooler. Hottest of the quarters all present, better lose the box. I carry the club like Neanderthal. The choir got everybody dancing, dog. Yell on that X, I'm a sentinel, standing tall. No time to stand still, please don't meander, dog. They're throwing jazz at me to challenge my rap savvy. I sway like Callaway, I'm ahead, you'll never catch me. Ain't worry about it unless I spit Christmas gifts. My crew lighting up trees, you a screw to this. Menage a Quad, the name of my team supreme. They biting now, so I'm tossing out teeth and rings. You said you wanted bling, flossing ain't what you mean. You got baby teeth, though they pulling wisdom from me. Get neutered, respect the shooter of medulla. Give an inch, I'll take 50, 280 rulers. Royalty around me and mine, we all sires. Words in Paris, we hot, that's French fire.
Hello, I am the Ronan Paul, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronan Paul live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Paul. Ah, Sticking to the Man was just coming on. Damn it, Greg, get the hell off of my live stream. Damn it. Damn it. Occasionally we have to abandon good music for the sake of American Truck Simulator, which we've just completed a job in, right? Right? Didn't I just give up on that one and park it? Yeah. And I was too busy talking about the whore in Korea that I didn't sleep with. I hope you guys aren't offended by that term. I do say it just for the humor of it. I love it. I love mispronunciating it too as well. Coor, you know, with a U in it. Paint, 35,000 pounds to Sacramento, California. That's a pretty long one. Well, no, it's not that long, but I want kind of a short one because I don't think that we'll be going for another hour. I just want to address. I want to address what I was alluding to before we awkwardly cut that off. Around the situation of, you know, so my senior student buys me and another senior student of mine a lady of the evening for the evening, and then it's pretty much entirely on him to decide whether or not we actually, you know, take this offer up and go back in the room and the two of us finger cuffs. It's pretty much entirely up to him because he's the senior student, and I'm just gonna go wherever he goes and do whatever he does. I mean, I could choose not to, but in Zen, that's not what you're in it for. Like what I was saying earlier about, you know, going to a meal that someone else has bought for you, and, you know, they're providing something and they're happy to give it to you, and, you know, something is going on here right now. It's a moment. It's a thing. It's not just a meal. It's all of this is happening right now, and it involves people who are doing something nice, and it's rude, and it's discouraging when they say, thank you, but I don't. And can you not, like, put yourself aside for a moment and graciously accept a gift and have some meat and some liquor, even though I don't usually drink and I don't usually eat meat? Can you not just say, thank you, eat the meat, and then, you know, not tomorrow eat meat anymore? You know? I mean, I know it's going to upset your stomach. Listen, we were on a, we were on a raw diet at the Zen Center, and then the Zen Master would take us out for, you know, beef bowls and sake. It will upset your stomach occasionally. I was surprised how often it didn't for me, considering that my diet had completely shifted to whole greens and veggies and stuff like that at that point. Just gonna pick up some used packagings and move them back to the other side of California. You know, can you not do that? So if my senior student and, you know, my senior student, the ranking monk, other than my Zen master, buys me a whore, and then my other senior student, who is supposed to be sharing this experience with me, decides, alright, I'm not gonna be the guy who says, I'm not in it. No, that's not for me. You know, what I'm gonna do is, tonight, I'm going to be the guy who sleeps with the whore, and then tomorrow, if I'm not that guy, then I won't be that guy. Thank you for buying me a whore. I appreciate it. It was lovely. It was an experience to be had. Now I've had it, and you provided it. Thank you for it. That's where I was coming from. That's where I would have been. But when you get right down to it, why I say I'm glad that I was the junior student and didn't really have to make that decision myself, is that I'm sure I would have done the same that he did. I'm sure that I would have just, you know, got up and walked out and, you know, said goodnight to the woman and not accepted the gift of sex that night that had been purchased for me literally from, like, the funds that were in the Zen Center's coffers. They come from, like, donations, and especially when my Zen Master is touring South Korea, they come from a lot of donations from devout Buddhists who, you know, see Zen flourishing in America and see a true Zen master, not, you know, some bogus dude, and they want to see that continue in America, and so they support him with money. So the money that bought the whore came from, like, the donations of parishioners. So the reason why I say I'm glad that I didn't have to make that decision isn't because I would have made it differently, but because I would have made it the same. And what does that say about me? You know? What would that have said about the me that I was back then? That's why I'm glad that I didn't have to make the decision, because I didn't really have to face up to it, at least then. But since then, I have faced up to that, and what that's about. And what this whole practice and premise is, that, come on, you see me, merge, he didn't merge, he just decided to hit the brakes, you're an idiot. This whole practice of the senior monks taking the junior monks to brothels in South Korea and paying for them and then shoving them in the room and saying, have fun! And then you're supposed to go in, and a half an hour later you're supposed to come out, presumably having not had sex with the woman, but you're supposed to come out and then, you know, get back in the group of male monks and, like, you know, nudge and say, she won't be walking straight for a week, and all that kind of machismo stuff. What that's about, and what it's really about in the lineage of Zen, and probably where it got started, because these traditions tend to come from, you know, people who knew what they were doing and then get passed down through people who don't know what they're doing, that sort of a thing. Here's what this has come to mean to me. If you can go in to the brothel or to the back of the bar, having had someone pay for a lady of the evening for you, and have sex with her, and then walk out, and it didn't really mean anything. You know, it was enjoyable, it was fine, it was similar to going and seeing a movie. If you can do that, then that is the correct thing to do. And if you can go into the brothel and go in and not have sex with the woman and convince her not to have sex with you, because what I've been told is that they want to have sex with you, you paid. If you can do that and have it be a similar thing, it's just like seeing a movie, you know? I had fun convincing the girl not to have sex with me, you know? Maybe we ended up talking for a while about her family, what she's, you know, where she's going in life, I don't know, whatever. If it just turns into an experience, if it means nothing to you, then that's the right answer. It's not about whether you sleep with her or not. It's not about whether you're chaste and you're following the precepts of the monks that, you know, we don't engage in sexual congress and that kind of thing. It's not about that. It's about you being put in a really awkward situation. And are you free enough in yourself to just accept that this is what's happening right now and not have it be a thing? Not have it be something that now defines you, you know? Not have it be something where, like me, you would be questioning and thinking about it for days and weeks and months and years after. It'd still be a story you're telling to a live stream however many years later. Are you free enough in your own self to just walk in and have sex with her, or not, and then that's it? And it doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't define you, and it doesn't make you one person or another. It's not moral or immoral. It wasn't right or wrong. It was the activity that was going on, and I participated in the way that I participated. And it was natural. It was just natural. Whatever you did, it just felt natural. If you can do that, then basically no one needed to take you to the brothel. The reason you're taken to the brothel is to experience that. Is to experience that situation of being like, they say I'm not supposed to do this, but also they paid for me, and especially in Korean culture, you know, if somebody buys you a meal, you eat it, you know? It's very rude to say, no, not for me, thanks though. If someone buys you a prostitute, I would assume it's also on the rude scale. Say, no, not for me, thanks. Can you just be without it becoming a thing? Without you having to sort of attach the activity to your identity and say that that means something about me? I think that's the lesson there, and that's why it goes on. And probably the monks who actually, you know, participate in it now, I'm guessing most of them don't understand why they're doing it. Someone did it to them, and now they do it to other people, and shoot, maybe they're sleeping with the monks, maybe they're not, maybe they're missing the teaching of it, maybe they eventually get it. It's an experience that you're put through for the sake of learning more about you. Are you the person who sleeps with her, and are you not? And regardless, because neither of those is right or wrong, more importantly, were you able to just do whichever you did without it being a fucking thing that you gotta drag through life now, that you feel like defines you? You know, are you gonna worry 3 months later, God, I slept with her. I'm not, what a shitty monk I am. I'm not supposed to sleep with women, especially a prostitute. Are you gonna do that to yourself? Are you gonna leave there having not slept with her and do the other thing and be like, I wonder if I was supposed to sleep with her? I mean, everybody else was there, and they you know, they brought me in there, they shoved me through the door, they paid for it. It's like you're supposed to sleep with her, and I didn't. Was I supposed to sleep? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be at peace in yourself? And if you're going to be at peace in yourself, then like I said, you didn't need to visit the brothel. But everybody's taken to the brothel because pretty much everybody has to deal with that, don't they? I had a similar experience in a hospital. I was like, no thanks, says Bear Suit Lane. I mean, that night with that woman, and she'd been, like, touching and getting close and stuff, I wasn't interested in having sex with her. But at the same time, I still look back and go, I'm glad that I didn't have to make that call, because I know that the person who I was back then would have not only... Oh, I don't see any gas. Oh, it's Barstow again. I hate Barstow. Would not only have, made the decision to not sleep with her just because it's the most easy thing for my personality, but also then probably would have doubled up on it by thinking it to death and beating himself up and, should I have... Oh, God. I should have slept with her. Am I worthy of my Zen master? I didn't sleep with her. I think my Zen master just would have fucked the girl. That is a part of Zen that, you don't usually get. That is something that's pretty hard to read about in the book. Hear people talking about it. And that's why you come to these live streams, right? No, we like American Truck Simulator. Oh, okay. Sure, that's good too. I do enjoy this game also. Who are you? Are you that person who, won't? Just because? Have you already made your mind up? It doesn't matter the circumstances, the situation, who's involved. I don't do this. I just don't. Are you that person? Or are you open? Are you free to experience life in its many facets, shades, and colors, and accept the karma that comes along with choices? Tier 5. So did she give your other senior student the one who paid a refund? Oh, hell no, Angelus. Hell no. In fact, I think we kind of fucked the whole thing up because, you're supposed to, like, not... Oh, jeez, just pull out in front of me, why don't you? He's probably saying the same thing about me. You're supposed to not. The thing you're supposed to... I mean, the thing is we're Americans, so rules are different in our society. But, in the Korean sense of it, you're supposed to not have sex with her. And then you're supposed to say, oh yeah, that was great. I had sex with her. Ooh, can't wait to go back there, fellas. You're supposed to do that. And I think we kind of balls the thing up in the end by, admitting to the fact that, no, we didn't. And then the senior student was like, seriously? Do you know how much money I gave to that whore? She didn't use those words exactly, but they're funnier. But yeah, she expressed to us that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money that I paid for her, that you didn't take her. Actually, Paul, I come here for dumb jokes and irrational anger, not for deep self-reflection and existentialism. Well, maybe you should skip the Zendnesdays then. Or just tune out after the first hour, because we certainly did a lot of that. Up front. The dumb jokes. Like the other days, as a guy called by. Well, I'm not changing Zendnesday. Honestly, it's hard for me to stop doing Zendnesday on some of these live streams. I get thinking about stuff, I get living life and having experiences, and then, I know you guys are here, and I want to share my experiences with you, and I want to share what they mean to me with you. Yeah. Flipping pronouns there. And, honestly, the only way that I can do that is to create a shared set of experiences, try and bring you to understanding of where I'm coming from. And that's, I guess, part of what Zendnesday is about for me, anyway. I need to merge. Somebody next to me? No, we're good. We're good. I need to merge because he's getting on. Who cheered? Cheered 10. Jokes? I can't really do jokes, as Rex skates. Do a magic trick. Do a magic trick, Rex. Hi, Rex, by the way. How many prostitutes have you had sex with, and did you feel bad afterwards? Because the only problem is if you felt bad afterwards. That's the anti-moral of my story. Well, I just dumbed it down and didn't really get anything out of it, but apparently it's okay to, as long as you don't, think about it later, then it's okay to do just about anything. That's basically what he said. It's a weird version of the golden rule. I'm not sure if Jesus would be on board. Oh, good. Stick your cheer right in the middle of it, Pi. Yeah, no, the wig isn't good enough to convince me it's someone else. Cheer 5 Pawn, you need a Zendnesday wig, Well, I'll tell you what a Zendnesday wig would be. It'd be shaving my head proper, showing up bold and shiny, One Punch Man. What it would be. Rickskate's cheering 50. Look at playing Total War Arena. It's free to play, and we can do 10v10 against each other. Says Rickskates. I saw your. Thank you for mentioning. I saw the email, but I do lose track of emails in my mind, especially ones that are short like that. But Total War Arena, eh? Risham is his hologram one. It's spelled with an I, 2 I's. I prefer Rashim because, like Rosh, it's unnecessary, and I'm not particularly fond of it. Rosh Al Ghul? What are you talking about? Also because I'm childish and pedantic. I was gonna mention, I didn't want to be the first one to say. 5. It's in open beta now, says Rex. Well, thank you for the cheers and the distractions. Jesus. God, you're gonna get me killed. He's not close, he's not... I'm cutting him off. What the hell are we doing with the 42 miles per hour around the curving, winding roads? You should play Payday 2 for a stream, says Healing Seeker 48. Hello, Healing Seeker 48. That actually sounds like one that I would enjoy. You know, most of these sound like ones I wouldn't enjoy. But that sounds like... What are you saying? You saying the other ones don't? No, I've seen a fair bit of Payday 2, and it looks fun. And, you know, brief. But not so brief as to be brief. You know what I'm talking about? Like about the right length for a live stream, and then you go to break, do 1 round, and then you go to break, 2 rounds, go to break, that kind of thing. When do I Nazi mod and start yelling all to respect Quan's choice of stream theme and content? Now, says Right Tintin? Well, if you have to think about it, then you're doing it wrong. That's the moral of the story. It's not really the moral of the story. Oh, we're going to LA. Okay. Look at shit. Okay, no, I'm fine. God, do you not see there's a giant truck behind you? Step on the gas. It's the only thing that I would add to American Truck Simulator is more reactive driving. I'd make all of the, especially since it's American Truck Simulator, I would make all of the AI really pissy, you know? Like, if you rode their ass on the way to a traffic light, then they'd sit there, just stopped, and you'd be blowing your horn, and then when it just turned yellow, then they'd go, and you'd get stuck at the red light again. That's the one place where this simulator lacks authenticity. Please, Rai, mute Pi for being disrespectful. Mute yourself for being difficult. You're all difficult. And I love you. I love you all. You know, on the good days. On the bad days, Daddy needs his pawn juice. So, to bring this back to where we started, if it can be brought back to where we started, because it's always fun to feel like things that, you know, had a beginning and then a middle and an end. Being dumb as a Zen practice. Being dumb as an experience that, because I feel like this audience, as, you know, childish and pedantic and petulant as we all like to be, we're far just too smart. You're all too damn smart for your own good, is what I would say. And, you know, more so, it's not a bad thing to be smart, but y'all know it. Y'all know how goddamn intelligent you are. Y'all probably know, you know, what your fucking IQs are. You're too smart for your own happiness, is what I'm saying. And, what I'd like to try, what I've been hoping to convince you of this live stream, is to, like, have enough confidence in yourself to know that your intellect isn't going to go away if you'll just occasionally shut up and stop overthinking it and be dumb. Go out of your way to make the choice that you think is stupid and you'd never do. And just see where that goes. And see if you don't have a fuller, richer, more meaningful existence in the long run because of it. Because there are so many things in this life that smart people decide not to do because they're smart and they think that those are the dumb things. That you'll just never know. All you're doing is cursing yourself to never know how much you might have loved it. Whatever it is. Whether it's sleeping with the whore, or eating the meat, or going vegetarian, or subscribing to the Ronin Pawn like a Heroes 451. Now that is being dumb. Bump it. Thank you, Heroes 451, for throwing money at me. That's the kind of dumb I'm looking for. Cheer 5, back? I guess it's time to be not back, says Rex Gates. Are you back? Did you leave? Did I say back? There's been a lot of cheers and I've missed them while I've been talking. And you're hiding your cheers in your friggin' posts and I'm coming up the turns and... Oh, stop. Cheer 5. Angelus, Pawn just said we can do stupid things. What was Angelus not going to do? Or wait, what is he going to do? I need to tab out because I missed a bunch of friggin' cheers. It's okay, both of you. Shush. Cheer 5, I'm not difficult. I'm indifferent and indignant, says Angelus 2141. I just like to reject reality and substitute my own, says Dendy. You know, that's a fine practice. Just, you gotta, like, get good enough at it. You gotta know how to do it right. Actually, no, Pon, I have no idea. I used to be 143 when I was a tiny kid, and 129 when I was a slightly less tiny little kid, but that's all over 10 years ago. It's probably like 83 now. Cheer 5. Are you talking about getting younger as you age? Are you in a painting somewhere, Pi? What? Did I miss something? I think you did. You missed a lot. Thank you for the subscription, Eros451. Hello, friends. It's been a while. Hasn't it, though? Nice to see you. Last time I took an IQ test, I was seriously insomniated and horribly exhausted, which probably cost me 20 to 30 points. Or 15 or whatever. See? You know your number. You know your number. And that's your problem. Let me tell you what's wrong with you. I know my number. I know my number, you know, from ages ago that I would be, you know, surprised to... I'd be doing well to score in the low teens. You know what I mean? 100 and something teens, that kind of thing, these days. But I know what my number used to be, but I don't care anymore, is the thing. I used to actually, you know, that used to be part of me. I identified with it. It was like, yeah, I'm part of... Did anyone take a proper one with Mensa? I'm part of Mensa. No, I didn't. I didn't. Cheer 5. Rex, I heard I'm hunting for the Vaseline. The Jesus God! With your cheers. You're not distracting me. The chainsaw and the inflatable bowel balloon as we speak. Because you're okay to do stupid things. Hey, you know, get out there and experience life. And if it involves those things, please don't hurt anyone else. Or yourself. I mean, you know, within reason on yourself. But other people, just try it. I'm not difficult like that. I don't wear my IQ like a badge of pride like some neckbeards or autists might. Yeah. Pa, you present like a person who knows how smart he is. That's all I'm saying. And most of the people in this chat do. You present like people who know how smart you are. Do you think that I would be sitting here talking about, hello, Healing Seeker 48, thank you for the follow. Do you think that I would be sitting here talking Zen in a format that is clearly devised to make the most sense to and appeal to and, like, connect with people who have some sense of quantum mechanics? Do you think that I would be talking in those tones if I didn't know how fucking smart we all were? I wouldn't approach Zen. I wouldn't walk into a room... Oh, before I lose the cheer. Can we invite Pony and Hollow, says Rex Gates, to the chainsaw tampon party or whatever? Yeah, do whatever you want. And just cheering fun. Well, they're free to do stupid things too, so yeah. You're derailing me. Do you think that if this audience wasn't this audience that I'd be forcing, like, you know... Listen, karma is like thermodynamics and Newtonian physics. When you just think about it, do you think that's where I'd be coming from? No, I'm coming from there because you guys are fucking Kerbal Space Program, rocket launching Delta V mechanic people. Okay? And I'm right there with you, you know? To a certain extent, I'm right there with you. I feel like you guys are way smarter than I am in the subjects that you are. But I do have a little bit of wisdom to share with you, and part of it is you will be so much happier if you stop building your lives and your identities on your intellect and on your knowledge. And I know exactly where that comes from. How do you think I got here? I identified in my youth as nothing more than my mind. I thought when I die, that's it. Den D just subscribed! Another idiot! Welcome to the stupid club! This is what I'm talking about. Be dumb! Thank you, Den D, for the $5. Be dumb with me. Come be dumb with me. Cheer 5 points. Stay on point. Stop getting distracted. Sheesh. What was I talking about? Where do you think I'm coming from, he said. What is this? I identified myself as one, but Pawn likes swerving. I do like a good swerve. I could put a good swerve on it. I identified myself as my thoughts, as my ideas. I was in my 20s and had accomplished nothing. Screw you, Pie! I had accomplished nothing of significance. Nobody cared. I'd written all these songs that nobody listened to or gave a shit about. I'd go up to the, open mic night, and I'd listen to their tunes, they'd listen to mine, and we enjoyed them. But was that enough for me? No. I needed to speed and cut a truck off, and then there's a cop up ahead and slam on my brakes. I needed to be acknowledged for what I had to be acknowledged for, and I didn't have money, I didn't have acclaim, shut up! I didn't have anything in my life to define myself by but my thoughts. That was all I had. It was all that I thought of myself as. Is everything that's up here. That's all I've got. You bastards. You bastards. Pawn, geez, please don't talk about how smart we are, because I think that's validation. We don't really need that. And, we don't really need, and that some of us don't want either. We're all right mentally, but we're not hashtag I'm very smart and geniuses. I'm supposed to turn left, not at a red light. Cheer 5. Pawn, hey Pawn. He can't read that in 5 seconds. Well, he can read that, Angel. Can't read this either. It's now for something completely different. It's the break, Pawn, with Cheers stream. Yes, you are breaking me with your cheers. But does it really matter? It's the break. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. It's the break, Pawn, with Cheers stream. Yo. Alright. There, I read them all now. Shut the hell up. I'm laying the universe's secrets at your feet. Oh, shit, they found me! Oh, damn it! Who was with the helicopter? Who wants to drive? Make it rain. I gotta back up a little bit. I hope there's not someone directly behind me. That tree jumped right out in front of me, officer. I don't know. He didn't merge. He didn't signal before he merged. It's just suddenly there. Sure, 5. Well, 5 cents is more a coin. So, oh god, is there a train coming? Thank god. Is more a coin, so that more like hail the rain? Hail than rain. It's more like hail than rain. Jesus. Angelus. Don't do that Rex thing where you write your words all weird and you're typing them on your phone and I can't tell and I look over and try and read them and it takes me 3 times and then we run into a tree. Carlos, wrap the goddamn crepes up for the feds find him. 20 more Rex skates and you will be top. Cheer 25. Okay. How do you know that, Dravasian? Thank you for getting me another quarter, though. We're coming into Oxnard, and I'm just trying to encourage you. Listen, I went from being a stuck-up, snobby, fucking self-righteous prick to a Zen monk, and then I exited the Zen monastery, and what did I do? Well, I did some janitor work for a minute. What did I do when I finally decided that I wanted to do something specific? Be a fucking clown on YouTube. Be dumb. Let it out. There's dumb in you. Find it and enjoy it. You know? You can be dumb today. Oh, shoot, they're still circling. You can be dumb today, and it doesn't mean that you're less of a person because of it. In fact, if you've been stuck to your intellect and stuck to your idea of how smart you are less of a person if you don't experience what dumb is. You are only adding to who you are and where you can go and what you can do and what possibilities you have in this life by opening yourself up to those experiences that you think are beneath you. Trees are pussies. They are. He fell right over when I hit him with a lorry. Gervaisian cheering 100, you got yourself a beer and told the world what it is, says Gervaisian. Are those song lyrics or something? Gonna get myself a beer and tell the world what it is. I don't know the... What are the kids listening to these days? Personally, I'm into Britney Spears and One Direction. That's my music. Those are my people. Yeah, I'll try and fail to park it where you want it. So I gotta go around back, and then I think it's round back. I mean, it looks like it on the map anyway. The little Cheer 105, is that a challenge? Says Rex Skates. Is Germacian challenging Rex to the highest cheer off? I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And now I've pointed it out, so now I've just deflated it. Because I feel guilty about accepting all of you. Thank you so much for your cheers and for your continuing subscriptions and for coming out to be dumb with me, to watch a clown, talk about some pretty heavy shit. Because I'm gonna keep doing it. I enjoy the hell out of what we have right here, right now. I don't think I've ever been so happy in being a YouTuber, except maybe in the very beginning before I had any ideas of it. I think I've been happier to be doing what we do than I am now. Precisely because we're all over the fucking place, aren't we? We're all over the fucking place. That's what I love now, is that it's not just one thing and it's not just the other. It's not just the clown that gets to come out. It's the politically angry ranter. It's the, you know, this game is fucking... Can you believe these developers? He gets to come out. I get to play with all these different people. None of them are me, but all of them are me. And they're here for my enjoyment, and in this particular venue, I get to make them for your enjoyment too, hopefully. Which way do I need to turn? Yeah, that's right. Who's cheering? Roundabouts, they have trees on them. They're in the middle of... What, Rex? Why? Wait, what the hell is this metal? I like it. The Cheer 50, the six-pack philosopher Ronan Pawns, is Germacian. Wow. I have gotten absolutely no closer to what I was trying to do this time than before. In fact, I'm further away than my first pass. I'm just going to drive it back a little bit further, and then I'm going to have to, like... We're just going to have to whip it out, you know? I'm going to try kind of straighten it out in this direction, and then pulling into the corner. And I need the back here to get kind of straight, so that when I start my turn, it will actually start my turn. There we go. Yeah, this is my favorite era in the history of the Ronin Pawn, despite the lack of videos. Despite the lack of videos, I'm trying to find and make time to do more edited videos, even if just edited out of the live streams that we do. But this is my favorite time and era, because it's anything and everything goes, you know? And there was a time when I was trying to be a certain thing that I thought was what you guys wanted, or what would be popular, or what would, you know, make me a big YouTuber and all that kind of shit, and it took everything that I've done, and all the trying, and the worrying, and the contemplating, and the going back and forth. It took everything that got me here to get me here. Damn it, I don't want to lose the progress that I've made, but I don't really have enough room to make this any better. Shit. To get me to the point where, you know, I feel comfortable with you guys just sharing myself and all of it. Even the parts that nobody wants to see. Or smell. Or smell, in particular. Rex, you idiot. What would Rex do? Did you catch something on fire with the chainsaw and the cocaine nose job? Alright, now I've gone in the other direction wrongly. So we're getting closer to doing everything wrong. I can definitely park this one. Just give me another three goes. Precisely 3. No more, no less. Snowman Olaf cheering 5. It's quite obvious that you spent a lot of time contemplating your stories and the meaning you see in them. It's great to get a glimpse of that, and yes, Too overthinking to be happy sure is a problem, but it seems that there is a freedom that comes from thinking. We just need to skip the over. There's nothing wrong with thinking. Anything more than there is anything wrong with feeling. I just hope that someday I'll convince all of you that there is a whole nother experience that you're missing. Because that's what Zen really has to offer to anyone, and to everyone, is not that, you know, you need to stop doing this, and you need to stop doing that, and you won't be right unless, and that kind of thing, but Zen wants you to get in touch with an experience that most of us, like almost fucking all of us, are missing. That we just don't know is there. And that because we rely so much on our thinking minds, because we rely so much on the identity and the personality that has been interacting with the world through thought and emotion exclusively, we've come to believe that's all there is. And that's the only part of ourselves that we value anymore. And that's all that Zen really wants to do, is to convince you there's something else here. You're not going to lose anything, any of the other experiences that you're able to have. You're not going to lose your thinking mind, and you're not going to lose your feeling heart to experience this thing. But it's there, and it's real. And, what you need to do to, like, actually believe that it exists and have faith in it is meet someone who has had that experience and know that they know something you don't. And that's what I found in my Zen master. And, very much probably found it because, you know, because he is the man that he is and he does the things that he does. He sits in meditation almost every day. He doesn't have to. He's a Zen master. He's awakened. It's, you know, he comes to Zen meditation for basically everyone else there. You know? He can manifest whatever experience he wants to manifest. He doesn't need to sit there for hours anymore. He's done it. Tens of thousands of hours. But he comes for other people. And he comes also so that you can see what it looks like when you've had an experience. So that you can see that there's another part of you out there, still to be discovered. Cheer 5.1, I feel there's something really important that must be added to the monumental wisdom behind your philosophy, and it's this. Boobs! What shall I have? Fresh carriages. I'm gonna have more just-in-time delivery. Give me that, and call it a live stream. Okay, no, don't. Call it the end of a live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for joining me for another Wednesday Zendnesday. Welcome back, Heroes 451. Welcome back. Welcome to the new people. Thank you for the cheers and the subscriptions. Yeah. The talking to you guys about Zen just feels so good. It feels so nice to share things that I can't talk to with anybody else, you know? I mean, I there's some people in my life. I can, you know, go have a drink with Greg and talk to him about stuff like this, but honestly, you know, there aren't any other former monastery hopefuls, former monastic hopefuls in Buddhist Zen who I can sit down and have like a back and forth of, you know, and what was your experience of hearing the dog barking outside of the Zen center? You know, there's conversations that I can't have a back and forth with, but what I can do is I can come here and I can tell you, in a very one-sided conversation, I can tell you about my experiences and hope that they have some kind of impact. And you can get to know me a little bit better and understand where I'm coming from. And also I can get the sense that I've shared something of worth. And if it's just a completely selfish transaction like that, then that would be fine. But it is more than that. And it's the more than that I'm especially grateful for. I've had an experience where my whole body was streaming with energy, felt better than any drugs I took, and it was after a conversation with a Buddhist, but I can't reproduce that mechanism anymore, says Dendy. I did that to my mother once. I was in the Zen Center, I was meditating, I just had an awakening event, and I came home, I think for a Christmas holiday or some other holiday, which I only ever came home for holidays 2-3 times a year. I came home, and I was just glowing with... I was vibrating. I was resonating with my recent awakening experience that really opened me up, and for a year, there were just... I still felt it all jostling around inside me. It was amazing. I was carrying that light within me when I went to her house, and she told me 6 months later when I saw her again for the first time, something like that, she said, you know, when you left the house, it felt so different for like 3 days after you were gone. Like, it was just brighter. Everything was just... There was a smell in the air. There was something. It's real. And Dendi, you can have the experience that person who was resonating on that frequency showed you exists. You can have that experience again under your own power. I won't tell you how hard it is and how long it takes to get there, but you can have that experience. It's not hard to have the experience. To be able to reproduce it at will, that's beyond me. Anyway, we have come to the end of the live stream. I encourage you all to, seek out your local Zen centers, or just sit in a chair, decide you're just going to sit there for 15 minutes, breathe, watch your breath, count your breath, and see what changed in 15 minutes about you. See if you aren't vibrating on a different kind of a frequency. Or see if it was a hellscape of having to sit with yourself and listen to your thoughts that never stop. And in either case, you will have discovered something very important about yourself, both of which could lead to a practice of meditation. Because the one, if it's a horrible experience you have, it usually goes one of two ways. It's either a horrible experience or it's a wonderful experience. You know, it can land in the middle, but usually it's one or the other. And if it's a horrible experience, now you know what you're living with that you haven't noticed because you don't slow down long enough to see it. And if it's a wonderful experience, you've got the easier path up front and the worst path in the long run. Take it from me! Because my first meditation experience was wonderful. It's a long way to Tipperelli, it's a long way to go, but it's worth going there. I am the Ronin Pawn, and I shall see you all this Friday at 4 p.m. Well, whoever can show up. This Friday at 4 p.m. for another live stream here on the Ronin Pawn channel. Pawn out!
It was no fun at all. No fun at all at the beginning of all times. The sea was clear, the sea was wide. In it swam the Savior, having